Still thinks we're a fighting game.
We are.
Every time. Every time.
Should I wait?
No.
No, let's go.
Fire away. Let's do the thing.
Yeah.
Let's crank it up.
I gotta boot it up.
You gotta boot it up.
Boot up, boot up.
Put that motherfucker in the police report. Computer's off. Gotta boot it up.
Yo.
Hello.
How's everybody doing?
Welcome to the show.
What up, folks?
Welcome back.
Yeah, welcome back.
Welcome back to the
I'm-
stage of history.
Is this history? Are we making history?
Yeah, we're
here?
making history.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
A tale of souls and swords.
Eternally retold. Transcending history
Right.
in the world. I
He's
love
got
how-
so much to
that's
say.
a side note.
So much.
And the world.
And the world.
I'm Scott.
I'm Trey.
And I'm Phil.
Yeah, you are.
I'm filled with joy.
Arcane joy.
Hell hath no fury like a sister scorn.
Oh.
Oh.
Today we're talking about Arcane.
Yeah.
Boy.
Mm-hmm.
Long overdue.
Arcane.
Arcane.
You told us.
We talking about that Arcane.
You told us, man. You told us.
Yeah,
You did.
man.
Yep.
Everybody said it.
It's something special, man.
So real quick, did you rewatch it?
Fuck yeah.
Man, I knew you did. I knew it. I knew you'd rewatch it.
Yeah.
Hell
well, I
yeah.
mean, I could, just watch an episode. But to be honest with you, my first time through, I did so much rewinding and so much like, okay, the episode was awesome. Go back, watch it again.
Yeah.
You know, because there's always just so many little details, man. There's a lot to gather. So
Yeah.
I've probably seen
Yeah.
each episode 3 or 4 times.
Did you
There
pick
you
up
go.
on stuff at the beginning that you didn't before? Because
Right.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Because I mean, you expect things to be way more predictable than they actually are.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I know exactly what's about to happen. It's like, oh no,
Mm.
you know, it's way worse.
Oh, it's way worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Yeah. I we'll get into this.
Yeah,
later,
right?
but
Yeah. Later.
All right, so go ahead and crack into it, Phil.
All right. So
How's
Elden
your week
Ring.
been?
Yeah.
It's more Elden Ring. Well, number one, I watched Arcane, did all that. I have been playing what seems like the end game of Elden Ring.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure I'm right there at a spot where I could make a couple of choices and end the game, but I'm just trying to beat all the optional bosses.
Right.
When you say all of the optional bosses, are you aware of how many bosses there actually are in this
I'm
game?
trying to fight the coolest ones, I guess.
Right,
Yeah.
right, because,
There are
like-
too many bosses. in
Yeah,
this game.
yeah. There was a list of like, I think it was like 170 that have been located.
Yeah, something like that.
And they
yeah.
were like, nah, man, there's still at least like 40 more that y'all haven't found. Like, yes, telling the community, like, there's still several more that people haven't found yet.
Well, dude, people keep finding shit all the time where they're like, oh, hey, here's this weird item that completely changes this build's meta.
Right.
Or like, hell with this patch.
This
I mean, I'm just
patch,
going to go ahead
yeah.
and talk about it.
Yeah.
They made it to where, like, there was a really shitty glitch that me and Robbie actually had this guy fuck on us. I can't really remember what it is. It's some kind of buff that you do, and then it's basically supposed to be bonus weapon damage, but you could, like, roll through somebody and not actually hit them, and then it would still do this, like, AoE burn thing. And
It's not the ability that it's actually like the roll is an attack. I've
No,
seen one
it's
where
not
that
that.
actually changes the roll to an attack.
no, but that's cool. You
Yeah.
could roll into people.
Yeah, man. Yeah, and it does like persistent damage, like damage over time.
Okay,
It's
that's
fucking
stupid.
odd.
That's
Yeah,
really
man.
stupid.
Like, what a great idea.
Yeah. But they fixed that, and then they made it where, like, bleed is ridiculous now, and they did all this other stuff.
They buff magic damage.
They
is
buffed
buffed,
magic damage
and range.
So I had a summon called the Mimic Tier, right? And the Mimic Tier makes a clone of you.
Stop.
Yeah.
No, dude.
Uh-huh.
No.
And-
Oh, you know what? I saw somebody use that. I
Yeah,
didn't know
that
what it
shit's
was.
dope,
and what
dude.
he did
Yeah.
was he walked up. He wasn't fighting Margit.
Yeah.
But what he did was he summoned the minion and went AFK.
Yeah,
he was like,
totally.
I'm going to the bathroom, and he summoned the minion, and the minion killed the boss.
Dude, depending on what the boss is, he'll do it for you.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah.
But with this patch, they toned down his AI because he was just balling on people. I mean, he'd go in and start doing weapon arts and start jumping in and double slashing and doing all this as hard as a boss you would fight, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, you could just walk away, especially if it's a low level boss.
Right.
But with higher level bosses, it really helps you, keep the focus off of you.
Right.
And you have somebody that actually has a full move set instead of most of the summons usually have like one or two cool attacks or something like that.
Right.
But they had to nerf his AI because he was rolling on him. So I don't know whether he'd still be able to beat bosses by himself. But
Right.
with my build, it's not as much of a problem because I'm not trying to do anything too fancy.
Yeah.
Did the patch mess with your build at all?
No,
Okay,
I mean, not that I've noticed. You know.
Because I know like several people who like after the patch, all of a sudden they weren't as strong as they were before.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just like,
Man, speaking of patches, I found out with Sifu that they had to nerf a couple of the bosses.
Yeah.
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 So I mean, when I go back to it, it might actually be.
You might just roll through.
Yeah,
Yeah.
really. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Because especially the guy with the bow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like. I mean, he was fucking people up.
Mhm.
People were getting to him and just dead stopping and not
Yeah.
playing the game anymore.
Yeah,
so
they
had
said
to
well
nerf
that
him.
was kind of the choke point of the game to see if you actually wanted to finish the game.
Oh yeah,
If
yeah.
you can get through that, then that
Mhm.
was because have you ever watched the speed runs? For
Oh, yeah.
Sifu?
Mhm.
It's just ridiculous, man.
Mhm.
It's ridiculous. And so they're like, yeah, you get this. This is a gut check for you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, are you gonna nut up or are you just gonna quit playing the game? And a lot of people quit.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, getting the timing on making sure you're doing the dodges up or down.
Yes.
I mean, it fucks with you, and his tells are almost the same for both of them. So
Right.
you really have to pay attention. And I get it; it's a bitch, you
Yeah.
know. But then once you get it, you're like, oh, whatever. This guy's not that bad,
Right.
you know. He can just do a lot of damage.
Did you watch the Matrix mod?
Dude?
Is that not so
no,
sick?
like I said, that's better than Resurrections.
Right.
That right there was better than Resurrection.
Yeah, they killed it. There are a few different Sifu mods, man. Like there's the one, of course, with
Kung Fu Panda.
With Kung Fu Panda, dude, ruined my
Poe.
mods. It's so good. But there's also the Matrix mod, which has you fighting a whole bunch of Smiths,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
it looks perfect.
Dude, yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like the Matrix game we all want.
Yes.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah, with very obviously not Hugo Weaving voicing all the Smiths. That's the funniest one. He's like, man, he's on a roll coming out of Agent Smith. But no, other than that, I started watching Seinfeld again.
Okay.
Yeah, and yeah, man. I've realized how much of that show isn't really funny.
Oh yeah.
It's just situationally great.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's not like the kind of thing that you're constantly laughing at. You're just kind of going like, oh, Jesus.
Oh, yeah.
It's like a real slow car accident happening every episode. And Curb's better. That's all I was going to say. Curb's
Okay.
so much better.
Right.
Yeah.
I just put them in the same wheelhouse, man. It's just, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think all of them are entertaining if you just throw them on and just let them.
Yeah, you just
play.
let them go.
Let 'em go. Yeah.
That's part of the reason I've been watching it because I don't have to pay attention to it.
Right.
I can put it on and get the gist of what's happening and laugh at Kramer and grind on Elden Ring.
Well, Curb doesn't have Bookman.
Yeah,
I need Bookman.
Bookman, dude.
Yeah, that's it.
Man. Yeah, I love all those side characters. And what's his friend's name? The guy that's super annoying. Hey Jerry.
I'm like all of them.
Well, all of yeah, but there's this one guy that's particularly annoying, and nobody likes him because he's super fucking annoying. Man, I can't remember. He's always talking about his new job and how he did this scheme and made a shit ton of money, and they're like, how does this always happen to you? I can't remember the guy's name.
I've always liked the term Ponzi scheme. I don't know why.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I don't know why Ponzi scheme always makes me laugh.
Ponzi scheme's good.
Yeah,
That's
man.
good.
Yeah.
It's a Ponzi scheme.
Prefer a Fonzie scheme.
A Fonzie scheme.
Hey.
Man. Hey, you guys know that phrase, jump the shark?
Yes.
Right. So a while back, I was talking to Micah, and we said jump the shark, and I thought it was referring to one thing, and he thought it was referring to a different thing, and it turns out it's not either of those things.
Oh, yeah.
So I thought this was particularly funny.
Right, there's a Fonzie episode.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. He said it was from Jaws 3.
No.
And
What?
I thought it was from that really bad Batman movie based on the Adam West Batman,
Oh.
where they have that shark that jumps out of
And
the
he has
water.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Shark
Okay.
bat spray.
Yeah.
Right. So he thought it was
Fuck you,
Jaws
I love that
3,
movie.
and then I thought it was Batman, and I was going like,
No,
no, it's
it's Happy
Batman. No, it's
Days.
fucking
That's
Happy Days.
Yeah.
Happy Days.
That's where that comes from. Happy Days. When he jumped the shark.
Jump the shark.
Anyway, sorry.
That was a total Fonzie scheme.
Yeah, it was a Fonzie
It was a
scheme.
total
that
Fonzie,
was
yes.
that's why I got there. That's it. Okay. Yeah.
Jesus. What about you, Scoot? Tell me about your week.
Monster Hunter Rise.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
That's
I,
really
I saw
been it.
that the kitty.
Oh
you
yeah,
got.
yeah, my
Uh-huh,
battle
little
cat.
meow meow.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
That thing's awesome.
Hell yeah, dude.
So what are they called? The riding ones?
The Palamuts.
Palamuts.
Because they're
Got
doggies.
you.
They're dog. You have a dog.
That's oh.
and
Was
then
the
you
dog-
have
oh,
and then you have the palicos that are your little
Cats.
that are the cats.
Yeah.
And they go around gathering shit.
So you're telling me that your Palamut's probably pissed as fuck that you're dressing him up like a cat?
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, my palico's a 9-tailed fox, so
Oh.
I
mean,
love it.
yeah.
All right.
So I think it works out.
That's cool.
But no, I've just been grinding on that. I haven't done any of the multiplayer stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Yet.
Mhm.
One of these days. Just been kind of going through the village quests and spending hours at the fucking smithy, man. Like just what can I
yeah.
forge? What can I upgrade? Ooh, I can do this. Ooh, I can put some sleep on. Oh, I'm about to make these monsters go night night. Like,
Because statics effects are actually worth it in that
Yeah,
game?
man, and that's,
Yeah.
that's always like one of the areas that you're going to spend the most time in with a Monster
yeah.
Hunter game.
Mhm.
You know, like just
Crafting.
crafting.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
well, I
And
don't
then
know what it,
designating the paths that you're
Right.
going to take with the gear.
I want to say I don't know why I like this one over the other ones because I've tried other Monster Hunter games and they just haven't clicked for me. But like
They
the
suck.
traversal in this game,
Oh, yeah.
is just fun as fuck. I figured out how to use the fucking wire bug.
Nice.
You know, so
Oh, the grappling hook thing?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I'll be like riding on my fucking dog, you know, jump into the air, hit a couple of those, like
Yeah.
Yeah. Fast travel that way, and it's just fun to move around in.
So is
Like-
it
Right.
like specific points that you can grapple to, or can
No.
you grapple to anything?
No, you can grapple to anything.
Oh, that's cool.
It
Okay.
depends on what you're pressing for like button combination, but I tend to just use the free roam option.
But the wire
'Cause if
bug,
you hit X, you go straight up. If
right? I
you
was about to
are-
say it can
you-
attach to the air, right?
Yeah,
Oh.
you have to hit
Oh,
it.
so it's like
hit it
old,
just
old
right.
school Spider-Man games.
Yeah, you
right,
have to hit.
right.
Got
Well,
you.
because it's
Okay.
a bug.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
so yeah,
I
you
see.
can tether to that bug wherever
Yeah,
the bug
you have to
is.
hit B like while you're in the air, and you'll just hang there.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's pretty cool.
That's hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
That's
a lot of fun.
Yeah.
That's way different from Monster Hunter. Usually,
Oh,
you're
yeah.
so stuck to the ground.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And while
Uh-huh.
this monster's just fucking on you from every direction.
Mhm. No, you have a lot more movement in this one.
Is Teostra in there?
Who's that?
Teostra?
I have no idea what
That means
is.
no.
Oh
Okay.
no.
Got
Or
it.
not
Got
yet.
it.
Or
Right.
not that I've known.
I just wonder how many of the like classic monsters are actually there. 'Cause
I
of course,
imagine there's
Rathalos
a
is
good
there.
bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you remember any of the monsters that you've seen?
This is my first actual Monster Hunter game.
Okay, so
yeah,
wouldn't-
so I
there's no
would
point of
yeah,
reference.
yeah,
Gotcha.
no point of reference whatsoever.
Yeah.
Any of the other ones I maybe played for like maybe 30 minutes,
Oh,
maybe
yeah.
an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I started playing World because it was free.
World
Yeah.
is great.
Yeah, World's pretty cool.
Well, I
I
loved-
don't like their menus. Their menus are
Mm.
super cumbersome.
They're cumbersome.
Yeah.
They are.
And then
Yeah.
just learning your way around the hub world
Yeah.
is cumbersome as well.
Yeah, they
That's-
drop a
some
lot of
people are-
knowledge on you as
they
soon as
really
you
well,
get in.
I think
you know?
it's funny how that kind of like lends to more organic play and more of the organic, like, you know, that's a lot of the hump that you have to get over.
Oh,
Is
yeah.
where is everything and
Mhm.
who do I
Well,
talk
in
to?
Rise,
for this?
in Rise,
Yeah.
they condensed it all down.
They did,
And so
but it's
in
still
World,
very.
the hub is
Dude,
massive.
it's massive,
Just
man.
knowing how to get
Yeah.
to the people just
Yeah.
to
Uh-huh.
initiate an event.
But even then,
It's
like
rough.
whenever you get the tutorial text, whenever you get a new thing, basically it's just like, yes, this is what this does.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like, cool.
Yeah.
Where do
Thank
I
you.
where do I do this?
Mhm.
We told you this is what it does.
Yeah, that's
But where do I do it? Just
do what we told you to
do
do.
it.
Just do it.
Do it. And that's the tutorial. So you do have to learn a lot of that stuff yourself, or like
okay.
do
yeah.
what I did. You know, how does this fucking owl work?
Yeah,
Go online.
That's right.
You know?
That's right.
This is what the owl does. Oh, that makes sense now.
Just ask the internet.
Ask Uncle Googles.
Right.
You know. Oh, and by the way, I have a robot owl.
Oh.
You
Yeah.
know robot owl?
Yeah, there was a download skin.
What's that owl's name?
Kahoot? Oh, the
Kahoot?
one. No, well, that's what it is. That's what it is in the game.
Oh, that's
They're
real
called
good.
Cahoots, and my owl's name is Hootie. So
Oh my God, his name is Hootie.
Oh, man, you gotta
Hootie,
name
my
him,
my Palico carries
There
around a
comes- he's
guitar.
Like, little cry.
Yeah, I have a head cannon that we're all like when we're not hunting monsters, we're
Yeah.
actually in a bar band. You know?
So you're a blowfish?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
great.
Well,
Man. No, what's the owl from Clash of
from
the Titans?
Clash of the Titans. I
What's
don't
the
remember the
name?
name.
It's not.
It looks
It's
like
Copernicus.
Copernicus.
It's not Copernicus. I don't remember.
I don't remember. He looks like that with a different color scheme.
That's cool.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
So,
And so,
Uh,
wait, so you just have a whole bunch of pets
Archimedes?
running around with you?
It's not that.
you have your cat and your dog. Your
Right.
owl goes out and searches for material and brings it back to its nest. So whenever you get done with the quest, you go check his nest, and usually it brings you back like shit like eggs and like more like sellable items. Not
Oh, yeah.
really a lot
Okay.
of stuff that you want to craft with and like hold on to. Just mostly stuff that you can make fucking bank on.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Cool.
but
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Yeah,
I like it
I
so
need
far.
to get into that game, you know?
But you don't have a Switch anymore, so you'd buy it on PC.
It's on PC.
That's right.
Well, I mean, that's the conversation we were having, man. Like, you know, it's really interesting how Nintendo's kind of spun this and through content, because I was kind of nervous, right?
Oh, yeah.
With the game coming out on PC, it's like, okay, now why would I want to play this game on Switch, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's going to run better, it's going to look better on PC. But through content alone, they're like, okay, well, we still have the superior version of
That's
the game.
right. That's
you
right,
know?
man.
And that's brilliant. That's good. That's smart.
I mean, hell, I think about Soul Calibur,
Some
dude.
lime.
What up, Lime?
Oh, hey.
Uh-huh.
We are friends.
Hey, you friend. Hey.
Although Soul Calibur 2 came out on all three of them, and Hahachi's dope, and Spawn is dope, everybody wanted Link. Everybody fucking wanted
Well,
Link.
wanted
And
you know?
also, like, just the look of each one of those games is very, very different. You
Right.
know?
There's something
Like,
about the bright colors on the
Uh-huh.
GameCube version.
and everything looks softer.
Everything
on the
looks softer,
GameCube
totally.
version,
Uh-huh.
totally. You know, the Xbox version, everything was like hard, dark lines
Right.
on the outside of the characters and everything. Everything looked edgy.
Yeah.
PS2 just looks like shit.
It looked,
You know, everything just looks grainy.
Thank you for not trying on
Yeah,
the PS2
right.
version.
Like, well, we wanted to keep it all authentic to
Right.
the PS2 experience.
Oh,
Right.
man. Yeah.
I don't know. Game runs great on the Switch.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, I've noticed
Yeah.
a few issues,
Yeah.
like frame issues or whatever, but it's not unplayable.
Yeah,
So,
and I mean the graphics. Like I looked at it on your Switch.
It looks great.
It looks fucking great. Yeah.
Right.
yeah.
So
So
I mean,
I'm sold.
Have
I'm
you,
sold. It's got its hooks in me real hard. I was actually really like. I was telling him we had to watch Arcane. I
Yeah.
didn't watch it until last night because I kept coming home and being like,
Damn.
all right, one more quest. And
Man.
even on Friday, I was just like, I can kill one more monster. It's
do you feel
fine."
like you have to grind?
I think that depends on your definition of grind because
you know,
it could
stand
be
in one spot and kill a bunch of shit
Well,
until
I
you
don't
get
think
mean,
that happens to
level.
the end game, really, right?
Okay.
Like,
I
you
mean,
don't have to-
I wouldn't know about the end game.
Yeah.
Right.
But you
Like-
haven't needed to so far. is
I
all
haven't
I'm
needed
saying.
to. I've been
Yeah.
basically able just to go from quest to quest.
Okay,
I mean,
yeah.
there might be a specific like item that I'm missing on like a specific like weapons or armor tree.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
that I'm just like, oh, I want that. So then I'll go back to like previous quests and like hunt down the monster that I need
Okay.
for that. But
Yeah.
I mean, like, I wouldn't call it necessarily grinding, but then I guess there are people that could argue that the whole fucking game is grind for the most part.
Right.
Like,
It's definitely like item
Farming.
farming.
it
yeah.
is very farmy. Yeah.
So I mean, what armor set are you wearing? What are you rocking? What weapons?
Right now, well, I favor daggers,
Okay.
Okay.
but I feel like the game really gives you a lot of incentive to experiment
Yeah.
with. So, I've really enjoyed playing with the switch axe,
Yes.
which goes from a big
Oh, yeah.
fuck off
Uh-huh.
axe to a big
Yeah.
fuck off sword.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the what is it? The change sword, which
The
goes from
yeah.
big fuck off sword and shield to a big fuck off axe.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
Uh-huh.
I've enjoyed those two. But no, when I'm ready to get serious, I'm just going for daggers.
You just want to
they're
be fast,
well,
right?
yeah. They're fast.
Yeah,
Like when
I
there's a big
understand.
ass about to sit on me, I can
Yeah.
cancel out really quick and roll the fuck away. You know.
Do you still have access
This
to
big
the
ass about to
insect
sit on me.
glaive? Is the insect glaive
Yes,
still there?
and yeah, all the classic stuff is there.
Okay,
Cool.
cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, I guess that's a
I
weird,
like-
weird thing to me
Yeah.
with that is they start you out and they're like, look at all these cool weapons, and,
Right.
and you're going like, I don't know what to
I don't
choose.
know which one to
I don't
choose,
know.
and they're all very different from one
Yeah,
another. you
yeah,
know?
they all look dope. That's
Yeah.
the thing.
Yeah.
I can see an advantage to each weapon type.
Yeah,
you know?
well, and I
Right.
think
Yeah.
that's something again. Like they kind of incentivize you to kind of continue to switch out your armor and your weapons.
because
and,
you're
like,
not
Some
exactly.
people don't ever do it though, man.
Some people
are like,
don't.
I'm
Some
switch axe
people-
for life. and
Right.
That's
Uh-huh.
just it.
Mhm.
You know.
I'd probably be one of those people. I'd figure out what I liked and just roll.
Yeah.
with
Yeah,
it.
because I mean the move sets for each weapon are
They're different.
massive.
different.
Yeah.
There's
They're
a lot
different.
of lot
So you
of
kinda
can
get used
defini-
to it.
And you can definitely. I wouldn't say that you like. There are certain monsters that like have like rock like skin or whatever, and like a more blunt weapon is better.
Oh,
on
totally.
those,
Yeah.
You
Uh-huh.
know, whereas you have other monsters that move a lot faster, so
Yeah.
obviously you want to
be able to
be-
keep
Yeah,
up.
like those
Yeah,
little
you wanna be
raptor
able to keep-
fuckers.
yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The big
Man.
bat
They f-
monkey man with a hand tail.
Jeez.
Yeah, that boy.
Yeah.
That's been my favorite one so far. He was a lot of fun to fight.
Yeah. Every time I see people
He
fighting
just made a
the
mess.
the
Mess of everything, throwing fruit everywhere.
yeah, just messy boy.
Messy, seriously. Like I would wear him down a little bit and then he'd run away.
Yeah.
And then I'd have to spend like, a minute or two just collecting all the shit that he dropped. It's like, fuck.
Man. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did we talk about what you did?
Not yet.
No.
No, we didn't.
No.
What'd you do?
What'd
I
you
don't
do?
even know what I did.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
My theme for the week was walk in the rain. In the rain, because it rained every
It-
day
every day.
of the
It did.
week.
Yeah.
We had hailstorms midweek.
I'm
like
fucking
it was.
glad it wasn't raining this morning.
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, I woke up and I was like, okay, thank you.
Yeah, no, man, it was crucial. I didn't really play a lot this week. I finished the second season of Space Force.
Oh yeah.
Knocked that
Uh-huh.
out. Which, like I said, it was kind of weird. You know.
You said Identity Crisis?
Yeah,
What's going
because
on?
okay,
What you mean?
season 1 of Space Force. Of course, it's a Steve Carell show. He's the head of the Space Force division
Yeah.
of the government, and of course, that makes him the laughing stock of the rest of the government. Everyone else
Right.
like Space Force. Look at these
Nobody
guys
takes
over
your
here.
shit
You
serious.
know
Yeah,
exactly. And but he's trying to do the best that he can. And so season 1 was, while it was comedic, it was funny-ish. It was really kind of a darker, sadder tale
Right.
about this guy and his family's kind of falling apart, and he's
Oh.
really just trying to keep at least the Space Force team together.
Yeah.
Nobody respects him, but he's a general and he's gonna stand by his shit. And so there's that whole thing.
Yeah.
And it even ended on a very sad note. Season 2 is just like cheeseball comedy.
Oh.
And,
yeah.
and it's really, really odd. It was kind of jarring going into it and being like, oh, well, this all of a sudden feels like a sitcom,
Okay. Yeah.
And
What's the name of that Seth MacFarlane space show?
The Orville.
Yeah, is it more like that?
I've never seen that. So
Okay.
I can't quite say.
It's way
But if it's-
more specifically a Star Trek parody.
It is a Star Trek
Right.
parody. Absolutely. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is more like, kind of military parody.
Yeah,
like,
kinda
we're part of the
space-
military,
space
but
opera,
not
kinda,
really.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I won't say that. They never actually go to space in
Oh,
this
yeah?
one. Yeah, in the first season, they ended up going to space and whatever, and then, shit went awry, as it tends to do. This one, they never actually go into space. You
Oh.
know, like,
Well,
yeah, it's basically the John Malkovich show because he's just amazing. Any scene that he's in, he steals the show
Yeah.
consistently
Yeah, he really
every
does,
time
yeah.
across the board.
in
And
every
so-
film he's ever in,
Right.
he
Oh,
steals the fucking
God,
show.
why is he so amazing? But it did. It just felt more of just like the over the top comedy. And then Steve Carell isn't even really that funny in it, to be honest with you.
Oh, really?
Well, because he's better when he plays a buffoon. That's
You're
kind of
completely
his
right.
niche role,
Yeah.
right? If you give him a little bit of, well, not moxie, but you give him like more intelligence and substance,
More depth. Yeah.
then it's
Yeah.
not really that funny.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, and
But
so
Steve Carell is a good actor, though.
He's
like
a great
when he
actor.
does serious roles, he does a really
Yeah.
good job.
Yeah. It's just unfortunate that we all think Michael from The Office, right? Like you see him, and that's the first thing you think of. So it's like, okay,
Or 40-year-old
do something
virgin.
funny. Exactly.
That's those are the two.
Right,
Like-
and so, but he's not doing that. He's actually like a
Arm
dad, and he's actually right. Oh God, yeah. That's good. And so it was whatever, man. It was cool enough. I wouldn't watch it again. Finished that. Messed around a lot with Virtuoso.
Oh yeah, how's that?
That's really cool.
Do you like it more than Electronauts?
Well,
does it have a different vibe?
It's a different thing.
Okay.
Like even if you go to launch it in Steam, Virtuoso is a VR music making tool that recently came out like a week ago.
Right.
But if you look for it on Steam, it's not under games; it's under tools, and so it's technically it's not a game because you actually have to make all these songs yourself, right?
Okay.
And so
It's
they
just
give you
VR
basically
music production.
they give you VR instruments, and that's the coolest thing
that's
about
crazy.
it, right?
Yeah.
Like instruments that they've designed. So you have like your what are called M-pads, and those are basically the different drums. And so you have your bass, your toms, whatever snares. There are like usually 8 or 9 different varieties of these things. Take those pads out, place them wherever you want. You can play on them. Get the looper out, record those loops.
So you can arrange it. how you
Yes, yeah. You're actually
Oh.
creating all these tracks, or you're creating loops.
want. Oh, but
And
like,
so-
what I mean is like those pads. You could arrange them.
Oh, you
around
can put them wherever
like
you want. You can put them wherever you want, and so
That's
put
great.
them on one side of you.
Yeah.
Put it away from the danger side. I usually put the list of all the instruments that I have and everything on the danger side.
Oh yeah.
The side where the table is,
Yeah,
where my
okay.
drink might be, over there. So I'm not swinging that direction ever because it's really easy to lose yourself and lose where you are. They have that. They have a harp. So you can sit there, change the sounds of the harp.
I saw the harp.
Yeah,
Harp
the
looked
harp's
cool.
really cool. They have something called the organ, Oorgan, that is magnificent.
Okay.
And so essentially what it is I think it's like maybe 14 by 7 these blocks, these cubes. And so it's like 14 across, 7 down, 5 deep. And you actually, as you hold your triggers, you're actually triggering each one of those blocks, which makes, of course, a note. The further you go in, the higher the pitch goes for that note. The further you go up or down, the further up the scale you go. And so you're actually able to play this thing and hold the triggers and play notes in succession. And it's absolutely amazing. And so each note also has 3 different methods of activation, one of which is just playing the note itself, and, the thing glows, whatever, the block glows, and then you press like your B button, right, and it'll all of a sudden make it either brighten or just it'll alter the note in some way. All right.
Okay.
And so, but if
Like
you hold
add
all 3 of
vibrato
them,
or add,
well, we don't have vibrato yet,
Okay.
but it'll just like strengthen the note. All of a sudden, you
Okay.
get a deeper tone or
Okay,
a richer
yeah.
tone. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So if you want to, play something on the lower end, use your B buttons.
That's
If you want to play something on the higher
crazy.
end, use your triggers.
Yeah,
And so
like
you're
like
actually-
something that's like a rounder bassy sound or like a brighter tinny
Right.
sound
exactly.
or like that kind of thing.
Exactly.
So it's like
and
changing
you can
the
combine
timbre.
them all if you want, and then it's just like,
Okay.
brr, it gets like super loud.
Whoa,
And so
yeah.
you can actually play this thing and move through it and slide. It's insane. It's really, really crazy.
Yeah.
They have this other instrument where it's like basically this. It turns your controllers into what looks like little spaceships.
Okay.
And so, but basically, what it does is it makes like like starfall sounds like this. Like if you do, here's another note, but whatever, we'll talk about it. Like if you pull the trigger, it'll be like pew, and the more that you go like down, it'll bring that high frequency. What is it called? It's called.
Talking about like a filter.
It's kind of like a theremin.
Theremin.
It's
yeah.
very
Oh.
similar to a theremin.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So you have that, so you can sit there and go like,
yeah,
pew,
like a
and-
proximity thing. And
yeah.
Like a, okay.
Yeah. Right. And the higher you go up, the higher that
Yeah.
note will go up.
Oh, a theremin. I
But
want one of those.
also,
Yeah, dude.
also they have this ability where if you are holding a note, if you rotate your controllers out, then all of a sudden it'll give you kind of the squelching effect. So you'll all of a sudden just go like, you'll have that, and so you can like brighten them that way as well. And so you can you really need to play with this.
Yeah, it sounds crazy.
It's
Yeah.
crazy. Like they've made all these
Is it
virtual
multiplayer?
reality. No. There's somebody on the Discord who was like, "Hey, would you all mind if I make a multiplayer mod for your game?" And they're like, "Well, we're working on one. We don't have one yet, but by all means. And so they opened up a mod channel on their Discord just for people to make mods for the thing. And so they're like, hey, we're not making
that's
this
how
stuff
you get
ourselves.
a job at a company right there, man.
Absolutely.
Hey,
Absolutely.
I built your multiplayer.
Right, and so that's what's happening.
Wanna
Like
give me a job?
They're super supportive of the mod community.
Man,
and so
this is one of the biggest things that I love about VR at this stage is that there are so many small indie developers that this is their first step into the waters. This is their first game, their first thing that they're working on, and people have just dove head fucking first into it.
Absolutely.
It's they want a community, they want people to help, they want all this stuff.
Yeah. And so, I mean, I think it's really kind of magnificent to see these guys, especially because, I mean, the app itself is only like $20, right?
Yeah.
And so they're just like, just here, play with our shit, make some music. And so it's really cool, all the tools that they give you. Like, you can actually set it so that it'll only record in like 4/4 time or whatever that way.
Oh, so you can
drums
change all
right.
that.
Oh yeah, you can change all of that.
Okay.
You can change the
so what
recording
you're saying
window.
is you can quantize the beats.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Exactly.
Dope,
because that can be the hardest part, right? If you just like play freeform, especially with drums without having like. I mean, you have the vibrational feedback, but you don't have a bounce, right? Because it doesn't actually exist. And so it makes it harder to really kind of keep a rhythm and record an actual rhythm, not just what you think is on time, but what's actually on time.
Oh yeah.
And so but they put a lot of tools in there to help you out with that. Like, it's an impressive piece of software.
Man.
Now I do think that they need more samples. Like right now, if you're not going for electro, don't play. Like if you want to try to create something that sounds...
I'd like to see something that you could put your own sample libraries in.
That'd be really, really cool. And there may be a way to do that, honestly. That's not too far-fetched of an idea.
Yeah, because that seems like a fairly simple thing to do if you already have sound libraries.
Right.
You should be able to pop them in. But with some of the uniqueness of some of those instruments, it might be difficult to, have them manipulate properly.
Right, exactly. They would need to add different instruments in order to make that happen. Also, there's this like perpetual reverb on everything.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And so now you can intensify it,
but you
can't
turn it off.
You can't turn it off. Not that I've found. So maybe there is a way, but everything does still have this kind of every note kind of lingers a bit longer than it should sometimes. Everything kind of sounds more spacey.
You can't make shit sound super staccato.
Exactly. Right. And so there are different ways to cheat it, but as it stands, no, not really. But once again, the game just came out, and they have a lot of plans for it. So I think we'll have it eventually.
That's pretty cool.
So it's pretty dope.
Well,
man.
so you were talking about the feedback with the drums. That made me think. I was thinking a while back. How cool it would be to play Taiko Drum Master in VR.
Yeah.
But you would still want the drum.
Yes.
So like both worlds. So you want the tactile feedback and having the real drum, but you also want to be able to see the drum and your hands and be able to play this game.
Which you can see the drums, and I'm telling you, it's really cool. Like, the vibrational sensation is definitely there. When you hit that drum pad, of course, it's all, I hate to say acoustic, right?
Yeah.
But pressure sensitive. So you can lightly tap on things, and, the feedback that you get through the controller is really, really good.
Okay. Yeah.
But
it's not the same as hitting something.
Because you have nothing to bounce off. Yeah, that bounces everything.
What you need to do is dig through the closet, find your Rock Band kit.
That's actually
right. Attach a stick to your controller.
Doable.
And then arrange the digital shit exactly in the same spot.
You can affect the tilt of it, of the drumstick itself. That would actually work. That would actually work, and I have one.
I know you do.
I know you do. Now you have to get kind of low to the ground, but that would actually work. That's I might actually play with that.
Try that.
Invest in some PVC and make it a stand-up kit.
Right. Yeah. That's a very good idea. That's really, really good, man. But outside of that, play a little KOF.
Oh yeah.
I was playing KOF with a friend of mine the other night, and that's how I found out about the characters, man. Like all of a sudden we couldn't play online, and I'm like, why can't we play online? And they're like, oh, update. I was like, okay, well, update. Well, what did they change? And I'm like, wait a minute.
Boom.
And they're like, bam.
Team got real.
You know what I'm saying? Team got real. So, yeah, we'll chat about that in a second.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's about it.
On to news
jutsu.
On to news jutsu.
Boom.
Shink.
Got to start off with bad news.
Yeah, hurting
all the
for
time.
the hurt.
All the time.
Hurting for hurt.
So William Hurt passed. Let's see. Was it the 13th?
I think so. Yeah.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sucks, man.
Movies like Dark City.
Yeah.
What is it? He was
all over the place.
yeah,
Dude, he's
yeah.
been in so much shit. Yeah.
Good old Thunderbolt Ross.
He's
in
been
the
Thunderbolt Ross.
Yeah.
I
the MCU.
he's been in some of the shows as Thunderbolt
yeah.
Ross, and I remember seeing him like it was either in Hawkeye or in Falcon and Winter Soldier. It was one of the two of them, and I was like, man, he looks kind of rough. You know, so he's been looking kind of rough for a while now, but still sucks, man.
Yeah. Other great ones: History of Violence.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Man, fucking Altered
Mr.
Stance.
Brooks, The Village.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Michael.
Mr. Brooks.
Yeah, Michael.
Lost in Space.
Yep. He was the
Dark
dad in
City.
Lost in Space.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Artificial Intelligence.
Yeah,
AI.
I always think about it.
yeah,
AI,
yeah.
totally.
And man, there was one other one. Oh, Changing Lanes.
Yeah. Yeah.
The Good Shepherd.
The Good Shepherd. Yeah.
Boy.
Not to be confused with the Good Son.
No.
No, do not know. Completely different movies.
Little Elijah Wood. Yeah. Well, miss you, William Hurt.
Was that Elijah or was that Macaulay?
It was both of them.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Yeah. Elijah was the actual
Was
good
the
son.
good
Was
son.
the actual good son.
Macaulay Culkin was a little bastard.
He was. God.
This is the most
In the
evil
movie,
Kevin
too.
McAllister I've ever seen. Yeah, really.
I don't know. I think Kevin McAllister was just evil across the board.
Yeah, but at least he was playful with it. This one was just pure.
Is that
evil.
better or worse?
I don't know. I mean, he was beating up Joe Pesci. It ain't that bad.
I mean, yeah, but he's so whimsical about it. That's
Pesci deserved it.
Damn.
My favorite thing about those movies is how good Joe Pesci is at not swearing.
right.
Oh, yeah.
Like he'll say all this stuff and none of it's actually swearing.
Well, but you also know that there's tons of cutting room
outtakes.
for
Yeah.
there's
Yo, he's
well,
in that this little motherfucker.
Well,
he's
I
like,
can't fucking believe it.
like Pesci, no.
They had to go back.
I meant
Yeah, exactly. If you go back and watch those movies, anytime he's ranting,
Yeah.
you can't see his face.
Oh, that's
Right.
why.
So like they
Yeah,
had to
they
go
had to
back and
overdub
it.
re-record.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pesci, this isn't Casino, man. You gotta calm down. This
Keep
is
fucking forgetting.
Pesci,
There you go
kids
again,
movie.
man.
Kids movie.
All the kids just looking at him, just like,
Oh man.
you know.
So we got some updates.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah.
Now this is awesome news.
We're gonna have to jump on this.
Yes, we
Yeah.
really need to.
Uh-huh.
And so, After the Fall, for those who don't know, is a VR zombie killing game. You kill some zombies. You go out with your friends, 3 of your friends, and just murk some Zambos.
Yep.
Right.
It's one of the best feeling multiplayer VR games I can think of. It's shooter
Easily.
wise. Yeah.
Yeah.
It works well to pop into people's games. I still think this is funny that everybody walks around like this.
Right. I think that they patched that though.
They did?
Yeah, supposedly. Now I haven't played to actually look myself.
Okay, yeah.
But from what I understand, they patched it so that people didn't look so ridiculous.
I mean, it's been a while since we played it. I bet we're going to jump in and be like, whoa,
Yeah.
hey.
Because they did have graphical improvements.
Yeah.
And now a horde mode. Like
yeah.
that's fantastic, man.
Full
To
on
not have to
horde
actually
mode.
go out and go through the same missions over and over
Yeah.
and over and over. Instead, just wave-based zombie killing. I'm with that.
That's all I want.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, man. I
It's
mean,
a no-brainer.
like as soon as I put horde mode in Gears of War, I was like, fuck playing against people.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
just
the same
playing-
way with Saints and Sinners. Once you got your horde mode for
yeah,
that,
like,
it's like
done.
right.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Man.
Yeah. And so I feel the same way about this Tower of Sisyphus, but we'll get there.
Totally. Yeah.
And so so we got horde mode out now. If anybody wants to ever play some After the Fall, hit us
Yeah.
up. We are definitely down with that.
Yeah.
Tentacular is going to be coming out on the 24th.
Tentacular.
Boom.
Still
And
looks
so-
ridiculous.
Yes, yes, it does. And so this is another game by Devolver Digital, and it was originally going to be a Meta exclusive. It is now available for Steam as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So now
Yeah.
we have access to it.
Hell yeah.
What
Yeah.
day did you say?
On March 24th.
24th. Wow.
Yeah, so
Okay.
it's around the corner.
Mhm.
Yeah, they just
real
announced that.
soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, you
Mhm.
play as they said not a kaiju, but you are a giant octopus monster, and they're like, yeah, right. No, that's what I thought too. And you can like take things and like build all these different objects to help the civilians with their daily problems.
Yeah.
They said that there was a love story in there for you.
Uh-oh.
You know, like yeah,
Uh-oh.
right. You know,
Where's this
like,
going?
well, we know where it's going. You know? Yeah, smell my tentacle. You know, it's like it's gonna be weird, man.
Smells like the sea.
It smells like the sea. Very assertive, very oceanic.
Quick, everyone, hide your waifus.
Oh no, the tentacles are coming.
Yeah.
And then we also got Moss Book 2.
Moss Book 2.
Yeah.
So this is gonna be March the 29th.
Man,
That's right around
so
the
many
corner.
things.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Everything in March.
Yeah.
And that's a big deal. You know,
Yeah.
we've been waiting a
Mhm.
long time for this.
And
it's
4
gonna be
years, is that right?
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah, and it's gonna be a PSVR exclusive at first.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Oh.
Yep. So dust off those Move controllers. Actually, I
Wow.
think you played Moss with the standard controller. Yeah.
Regular controller?
Yeah.
That was
Uh-huh.
a regular controller. Yeah.
Mhm.
And so, if anybody doesn't know, Quill is probably the most adorable protagonist ever.
Quill's
Yeah,
cool.
She's
I
so-
like the first one.
She's so
Yeah.
squishy.
Don't
She's so squishy.
Don't
Just
squish her.
yeah, dude. Whenever she rolls around, her little body just squishes.
Yep.
And they said that they've added more points of interactivity between you and the world itself, so you can
Okay.
actually like
Cool.
use these vines and paint vines onto the landscape so that Quill can climb different things, or
cool.
paint
Yeah.
vines to create bridges for her. All these different things, and I think that you actually can participate in combat as well.
Oh,
so-
like as the ghost.
As the ghost.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
so
cool.
it should be really, really interesting. There are going to be a lot of surprises.
Yeah, because that's one of the cool things about Moss as a platformer in VR is that it's
It's a diorama.
diorama. That's the best way to
Yes.
put it. Absolutely. And so you're able to stand up and look around these areas and see all the little secrets. If you want to, you can walk into it and kind of look around.
Or crouch way down. And be
Right.
like, oh, I got to go in there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. But there are times where you get to see your reflection as this giant spirit that's helping Moss out.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
So you'll look into the water and you'll be like, oh, hey,
That's
it's me.
what
Yeah,
it was like.
Yeah, and you look a little
Cool.
imposing.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
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 Well, you scare the shit out of her at first.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Quill does not like it.
Uh-uh.
You know? It's like, no, I'm here to help. Quill's like, I'm out.
Yeah. Fuck you. Okay. I've heard that from cats before too.
Exactly. And birds. Yeah.
And you ain't Tiger.
I'm just really excited for this. I'm excited to
Yeah.
see what they do with the story, because I think that this is one of those games, like kind of like Astrobot, right?
Mhm.
It proves just how well third-person games can work in virtual reality.
They work great.
Like everybody
Uh-huh.
thinks about FPS the
Yeah.
entire fucking time.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, there's so much more that we can do
Mhm.
with just 3D and just just moving around. Be like, okay, well, I can't see a path. Oh, now
Yep.
I see a path.
Uh-huh.
You know, and
Uh-huh.
so
I can't remember the name of it, but it's like that Insomniac game too, which is one of the ones that you should absolutely pick up for. It's an Oculus exclusive. It's the it's in the Mouth of Madness is what it is.
I love everything about it.
Yeah,
already.
but it's a third person. It's kind of Uncharted-y with more melee combat. Yeah, but it's in the Mouth of Madness.
What is this game?
I
You don't
can't
know
remember
the
what it's
name of
called, but Insomniac made it.
it? And it's on PSVR.
No, it's only on the Oculus store.
Oh,
Yeah. That one and Stormlands are both Insomniac Oculus exclusives, and both of them are fucking great, dude.
Heard that.
Yeah.
Heard that. I've been thinking about getting back into Alex, man. Like, I'm at a point now where I'm like, dude, I don't have, right. I'm
You need to play
'cause-
through it, dude.
'cause
That
I'm telling you-
ending will make you cry.
because we've been spending so much time, but spending time with my baby, and by the time I have time to play games, it's like 2 or 3 a.m. I can't play Horizon Zero. Like, look, the further I get into Horizon, I feel like the longer the dialogues get. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, the other day, I'm like, I got an hour or so to play. I did one mission.
Yep.
I did one thing, only because there was so much dialogue that it's just like, dude, I don't
Yeah.
have time before it's all of a sudden like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning.
Seriously.
Yeah.
So it's the same way with Elden Ring in my mind. It's like I don't have time.
You ain't got to talk to
progress.
nobody.
Well, there's that. You just gotta die a lot,
That's
and keep running back, which is totally cool. But yeah, man. And so we got Moss Book 2 right around the corner.
So,
What do you think of
Okay.
this?
yeah. Hey, we forgot
What
that.
do you think of this?
What do you think of this?
What do you think
What do you
of
think of
this?
this late tagline?
You know,
Yeah.
this is good.
Yeah.
BioWare actually hired a YouTuber.
What's the YouTuber's name? I forget what the channel's called.
I can look at that
Yeah.
if you want to talk about the thing.
Well, I mean, basically, they're hiring for the next Mass Effect game, and someone who's done a lot of videos on lore and that knows a shit ton about Mass Effect is being brought on to help write.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And that's amazing that the companies are actually reaching out to the community and going, "Hey, you're an expert in this. Why don't you come on board and help
'Cause
us
we have
out?"
no idea what we're doing right
We
now.
made Andromeda. We're fucking up.
Yeah, his name is Michael Tucker, and
Okay,
he has
yeah.
a YouTube series called Lessons from the Screenplay.
Right. I mean, he talks about Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
He talks about all sorts of shit.
Right,
Yeah.
and he just
Uh-huh.
breaks down all of this lore,
Mhm.
and Mass Effect was one of his favorite things to do.
Yep.
One of his favorite stories to break
Mhm.
down, and it's almost like he understands the lore better than they do.
Seriously,
And
I know.
yeah, and it's like way more interesting to hear him talk about it. So they're just like, okay, well, maybe you want to help us with this,
Right.
You
Yeah,
know?
dude.
And he's like,
Uh-huh.
fuck yeah. You know?
It's like, I got that.
You know, can you imagine like one day like you get an email and you're like, oh, this got to be spam. This isn't
Yeah.
real.
Mhm.
You know, but it's actually BioWare reaching out
Yeah.
to you to be a part of that team.
That'd be crazy. Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
that's dreams come true status, right? Like,
Sans Kojima, Konami reaching out to me and going, "Hey, can you help us write a Metal Gear game?" I'd be like,
Well,
"I'm on
I'm
it.
on it
I'm
right,
right
now,
there.
for real. Quit everything else. Break all ties with all of your like. Mom, Dad, I don't love you anymore.
Moving to Tokyo.
I'm going to Tokyo. Going to Japan. And then they're like, yeah, we need you to write this story for this Metal Gear Solid pachinko machine. It's like, fuck.
Oh no!
And then I weep.
And then you hit that Seinfeld, but bing, ding, bing, bing, bing. Hit the bass riff real quick.
Oh man. Bong, ka-bong, bong, bong,
There you go.
Did it.
Oh my god.
Iana loves that fucking bass
Yo,
line, by the
see
way.
you, Kit. You out of here?
Bye.
For
Goodbye.
real. Goodbye.
Whoa!
Sorry.
This is Google Fi free space.
No. Whoa. We get free Google Fi here?
All right. I mean, it's a phone plan to can.
Uh,
Right. And so, yeah, we got
Other
more
things?
DLC.
For Dead by Daylight.
Yes.
Yeah, Sadako,
yes.
man.
Yeah,
Mhm.
man. So here we are.
Holy
We're
shit.
finally... Oh, I see. Oh, I see. I thought you were
Oh,
leaving the channel.
Oh,
I
yeah.
was like, huh?
Listen.
Goodbye. Yeah, but this is look. I love any time that they use the ring style animation in a video game.
I mean,
You know, just
that's
like
part of the reason
staticky-
Fatal Frame is so kick-ass, because
Right.
all of it has that kind of thing going on. You know,
Yeah.
most games don't go for that. you know?
Right. Well, it's got to be difficult to do.
Did you play Siren?
Yes.
Siren's a little bit more on the zombie side, but
Right.
it still has this kind of vibe to it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I love it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that weird, like, all of a sudden you get some static and then she teleports, like
Uh-huh.
we were saying with Killer Instinct, with
Yeah.
Hisako.
Uh-huh.
Same way there. Just watching her move, I
Yeah.
love it. I
Yeah.
love it. And so Sadako, you actually have her actually able to teleport around, teleport behind people, of course, like she likes to do. You have the best part about these villains is like you never quite know exactly what it is they do to you.
Yeah.
It's a lot of imagination
man.
and psychology, which
Yeah.
makes it so much more horrific because
Yeah.
it's as bad as you can imagine it being.
Like
Yeah.
you,
Right.
you remember in the PT thing
Yeah.
how you'd get caught by Lisa,
Right.
and then you could hear her doing something to you,
Right.
but you're not sure whether she's eating you or she's just breaking your bones up, or
Uh-huh.
whether but it's just bad, and you can kind of see her out of the periphery while you're dying.
Right.
Like that's it.
Whatever it
it's
is
wonderful.
awful. You know what I'm saying? It's awful. And even in the movies, they really don't tell you specifically what it is that she does. It's like, she,
You're just
fucks
gonna
with you
die.
psychically.
She gets you.
She
She
gets
gets you.
Exactly.
You don't want to
You
get got.
Don't get
You don't want
got.
to get got, dude.
Because was that The Ring or was that The Grudge, where they found the person in the closet and their face was all like stretched? and
that's The Ring.
distorted? That was The
Yeah.
Ring, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's like, well, how does she do that? You know, it's like she
Yeah.
waterlogs
She got
you
him.
at the same time, and
You got
completely distorts
Yeah.
your features, and yeah, man. And it was just a little girl with psychic abilities.
Yep.
And so, yeah,
You did it to yourself in your mind.
And so she can actually go around the
Sadako,
environment.
Akira on your face.
Really?
Right? Yeah, man. And she'll just like destroy the generators that, because the whole goal is to
Oh,
power
yeah.
up these generators and create a point of exit. But she can actually go around and just break them. You
Yeah.
know? She just creeps on it. And then that's the problem. Right?
Yeah.
she,
You know?
she creeps on
Oh,
it.
yeah, it's just a creep.
That's it.
And then it's broke. You know? And this is the reason to not go to Japan.
Yeah.
You know?
Vengeful spirit.
Vengeful spirits.
Don't go to the suicide forest.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
no!
so-
And then if you look at her model, like it's very very 1-to-1 with the original Sadako. 'Cause,
Oh, totally,
Like all
yeah.
of her nails are missing from trying to climb up out of the well and shit. Like it's crazy, man. Yeah.
Did you ever see
Super
Stir of Echoes?
Yeah.
Remember that movie?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, that's one of the parts that I always remember is the girl trying to crawl away and she grabs the hardwood floor and rips her fingernails off.
off.
I was just-
Uh-huh.
I'm just like,
Yeah, the ring. It was like she put her finger on a nail.
That's
and
right.
the nail went through and pushed her fingernail off.
Ah.
Yeah.
Why?
Exactly.
Like I can sit there and watch somebody be disemboweled.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
You're
cool.
like, yeah, all right, whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the way it
But
goes
you know
down.
what fucked with me? You remember that scene, and I think it's Saw 2 or 3, where Mark Wahlberg is taking the back of the toilet and breaking his foot off?
Oh
I was
yeah.
like,
Like, ooh yeah.
Man, why do you keep doing it? There's got to be a better way.
There's gotta be.
Oh man.
So Team Garou.
Shadow drop.
Yeah.
Shadow drop. And it's funny, man, because
yeah,
they,
Gato, Rock, and B. Janet.
yeah, this is for King of Fighters
Yeah.
15. Well, it's interesting
Love
the
me some
way
Rock
that this whole thing played out, right? Because they told us that the characters were coming in March, so we knew they were coming this month. They gave Maximilian access to an early access to these characters
Oh,
by one
really?
day.
Oh.
And so he made a video, and everybody's
Oh.
like, oh, Max had a chance to play with the new characters.
Yeah.
Let's check them out. The funny thing is, I was watching that video when my friend Nathan, when he called and said, hey, you want to fight? And I was like, cool. And turned off the video, whatever, started playing. And then next thing I know, we can't play the game anymore.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh, there's an update. And I'm like, okay, I wonder what they're updating. And then I look at the patch notes and everything, and then I look on the main screen, and they were just right there. It didn't even register at first that
Yeah.
it said free, download now, right? It didn't even register because I'm just
Yeah.
like, that can't be real.
Wait, free?
Well, I got the collector's edition.
Oh, okay, that
Yeah,
makes sense.
so all
Yeah.
these
Got
first
you.
wave of characters are going to be free.
But you had to download them though.
Yeah.
That's weird.
No, it's the same way for any fighting game. They never just add it because you have to download the code to make those characters accessible.
Yeah, I guess so.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Just okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's always that
Yeah.
way. It's always super cumbersome.
You're
Same
right,
way with
yeah.
any Arc System Works fighters.
Yeah, you're right.
You
Man.
know,
yeah.
and you also have to download stages usually
Mhm.
and all the kind of stuff independently. And so if you're like my boy, he didn't do that. And so
Yeah.
he's just like, why don't I have the characters? I was like, well, I told you got to download them, bro. You just got to go to the store and click on the thing. But yeah, man. So Gato, Rock Howard,
Yeah.
B. Janet, they are here. And
Fucking love Rock Howard, dude. I always
Rock.
have.
Rock. He's so sick.
Mhm.
He's so good. I'm
Geese's
having a lot of
son,
fun.
trained by Terry.
Trained by Terry. That's a match made in hell.
Seriously.
Yeah, man.
Does
Yeah.
he still do the thing with the wings like
Huh?
when he wins?
Yeah, you still have that win pose. B. Janet is clowning. I think
Of
that
course,
visually
yeah.
she's probably one of the coolest characters in the game.
Oh, yeah,
Um,
like her special effects and
Yeah.
everything.
yeah,
Okay,
they
cool.
look like really, really cool.
Yeah.
And then if
She has flashy moves.
she does,
Uh-huh.
and she has an attitude because
Yeah.
she's like ahead of it's like the pirate group or some shit. And
Yeah, something
yeah,
like that.
and she's
yeah.
always like getting mad and getting
Yeah.
infuriated. And this one, like for her climax super or whatever, like she'll actually take her shoe off.
Oh,
Like,
shit.
motherfucker!
Oh,
yeah,
man.
it's hot.
Whoop
It's
ass
hot.
with a shoe.
Dude.
Yeah, but
How much is this pack?
I think the pack itself here. I'll look at a price for it because, like I say, I paid for all this shit up front. But I think it's like maybe $7.99.
Okay, yeah, I'll probably grab that
Yeah.
then. Yeah. That's worth it.
Yeah, for things like this, man, I'll always just go ahead and get the collector's editions.
I don't want to give them the money up front because I don't know
Wait,
how long it takes them to
wait.
fucking
Wait.
wait.
This can't be real.
What?
They said it's
Wait.
$15.99.
Ooh, yucky.
Boy.
That's-
Wait. 15?
That's yucky.
They are crazy. That's wild.
I don't know.
So
about
it's
that,
like,
man. For
yeah.
3 characters.
15. They didn't add a new stage. It's $15.99.
just for the character.
That's $16, baby.
That's
So,
hard.
or you
That's
can
hard.
get that
Yeah.
and the next team. $30 will get you the first season's worth of teams.
So
that'll
is that
be
only 2 teams?
It's supposedly 3 because we have one coming in May and then one coming in the fall. And so,
These motherfuckers.
yeah, man.
These motherfuckers.
I mean, they know what they got.
Yeah, they
They know what
do.
they've got, and everybody's playing KOF right now,
Yeah.
and so they're gonna make that money. And then Gato's the
Gato's
killer.
the man, dude.
Gato's
Yeah.
the man. He is the man, and so he's definitely on the squad. But if we end up playing it all tonight, you'll get to see him. You know, I'll be flexing some of that. $15.99.
That's rough.
Yep.
Boy,
That's
they're trying to
rough.
sell that season's pass.
Doing
You
the
know?
30 for 3 packs is a much better deal.
Then
but-
$16 for 3 characters. That kind of breaks my heart.
Yucky.
Yeah.
Yucky. Bad move.
That's kind of gross
Man.
because that is a full price game, right?
Okay.
Like it
Dude.
was it 60 or 70? How much was KOF?
It was 60.
'Cause I paid like
Yeah.
80
Yeah.
for mine, but
Yeah.
yeah. Wow. Ooh.
So you already got all 3 of the first, or the first season.
Yeah,
is
the
what you're
first
saying.
season I'm just
Yeah.
going to get. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so
cool.
it was
Yeah.
definitely worth that.
Yeah.
You know, and that's why I did it because sometimes like these motherfuckers they'll be like, "Okay, it's $5 per character."
Yeah.
You know, but since they're selling
like
them-
fighters, man.
Right.
Dragon Ball Fighters is fucking expensive, dude. Like
Exactly.
season 2 is $25 or something like
Uh-huh.
that. Like,
Yeah, which I guess is essentially what's happening here because
Right.
you're getting 3, and these are 3 fully fleshed out characters,
Yeah.
right? That
Yeah,
shakes
yeah.
up the meta.
Mhm.
They also did a couple of balance changes as well,
Yeah.
and so Vanessa got nerfed a little
does
bit.
he have a Rising Storm?
Yes, he does. Of course, he has a Rising Storm. What are you talking about? That's one thing about KOF 15. It's like they really don't take. It's like these are some of the best versions of each character ever.
Agreed.
Like Terry
man.
Bogart has
Mhm.
everything that he's ever had.
Uh-huh.
You know,
Uh-huh. He's
And
like
so-
Terry from Cap SNK 2.
Yes.
You know?
Absolutely. You know, you got rising tackle,
Yeah.
you know, you've got
And
power
a crack
dunk,
shot.
you got
And
crack
a-
shot,
yeah.
you got everything.
Yeah.
Which makes the most sense, right? It's like why are these people losing their moves?
No, he should have all those
You know?
options.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so apparently they made Andy
Wow.
better. They made Whip better as well because she was struggling really hard.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And so they did a lot of minor adjustments to kind of
Yeah.
level the playing field for a lot of characters. And so
Well,
it's hot.
we'll put hands on it later then.
Boy.
That's what that means.
boy,
Ooh.
you know.
Team Garo.
Team Garo, let's
Also the Street Fighter 5 update. What's
Oh
the
yeah. So Street Fighter 5 is putting out their update.
Is this the
on
last one?
This is it.
Okay.
This is it for Street Fighter 5. And so essentially what they're doing is kind of you remember when they put out Omega mode for Street Fighter 4?
Oh yeah.
That's essentially what's happening.
Oh,
now. Yeah.
dude. Okay,
Yeah.
see, Omega mode was stupid but very fun.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
that's the whole point. It's like let's blow the doors
Uh-huh.
off. All of a sudden you have like let's say Kage gets a full screen fireball, something that he does not
Oh.
need. He gets that. They showed a combo where Akuma somehow he combos you up in the air, hits you with an EX Tatsu or a standard Tatsu, then cancels that Tatsu into an EX Tatsu and cancels that one into like a light Tatsu. So he hits you with like 3 Tatsus in a row in the air. Like it's crazy. Like we
That's
don't.
disgusting.
That's what they're going for. They're blowing the doors off. They're just like, okay, have fun. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? It's like at this point, the game is way less grounded and do whatever you want. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Have a blast with it, and we'll see you in Street Fighter 6.
Can you do
So-
ranked matches in Omega or whatever? they're calling it?
No. This isn't a mode. This is just the game this time. So this isn't like you have to select a separate mode. It's just this is Street Fighter 5, baby. Like this motherfucker's just
Okay, we're gonna break
very
the
different.
game. Here you
Yeah.
go. We just broke the
have
game
fun,
for you guys. Wow. Okay.
And so I think that's a great idea,
Yeah.
especially with all this competition in the fighting game space.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, well, how do we bring the attention back over to this side? And it's
Yeah.
like, okay, well,
Make it wild. That's
add
how
some
you do
zany.
it. Jesus.
Yeah, add some
okay.
zany. So it's really, really exciting to see what's going to come out of that. I don't know.
Well, Scott, tell us about this.
Royal Space
remaster.
Force.
Right.
Royal Space Force.
Royal Space
Royal
Force.
Space Force, if I can talk right.
Wait, is that supposed to be Steve Carell over there?
Yeah, that's what it is.
No,
Right,
he's
right.
way less. That character's way less likable than Steve Carell will ever be. No, it's an old. This is like it's 1987. This is Gainax's first feature length.
Crazy.
Like animated feature.
So weird to
It's
think about.
kind of it never got brought over here like during the 90s anime boom over here in the West, and it was kind of one of those like not necessarily lost or whatever because people could get their hands on it, but it was never dubbed, never really translated. It has a couple of subs, has a VHS, DVD, Blu-ray version, but all of those versions are like 100 plus if you want to get a hand on it.
Laserdisc.
Yeah. Maybe there was a laser disc. I don't know. I'm sure that's really fucking expensive too. But the cool thing about this and what's cool for me is you can find this online, but if you're anything like me, you want the stuff that you like physically, and I haven't been able to justify dropping that amount of money on this. It is a fantastic.
It's beautiful.
It's a wonderfully animated movie, and it is a good movie. It has one thing that I'll talk about later if we ever actually cover it, but overall, really great movie.
I mean, I feel like this animation is better than a lot of modern animation. Like it.
Yeah.
It had to be.
Right, exactly. That's the difference, right?
Exactly.
Is that it had to be. And you can tell like these things are painstakingly detailed.
Oh,
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, I mean, it looks great. It's one of the most impressive animated films like ever made. But now we're getting a 4K release. And
When is it coming out?
They have not announced a date.
Okay.
They just announced that they were doing it.
Okay. I got you.
Because this was they announced it on Monday, which was like the 35th anniversary.
Oh.
Of when this like dropped in Japan.
Yeah.
So they just announced, hey, you guys are getting a 4K remaster.
Yeah.
And it's funny because it's like if you look at the image on the left of the female character herself, it's like, okay, yeah, that looks like dated animation, but on the right side is really a better representation
of what the
the
movie
anime looks like.
actually
Exactly.
is. Yeah, I don't remember her character, but
What all?
what's up?
Welcome.
I don't remember her character. That may just be concept art.
Right.
Okay. Which is why it kind of doesn't look quite as detailed or whatever, which,
Yeah.
Anyways, good. Yeah, I think it's a great movie. I can't wait.
Yeah, it looks clean. Like
wait.
Oh, well, wait, go ahead, hit that.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I had never seen. I think I may have seen like trailers for this like in the past at some point, but after watching the trailer, I was blown away.
Oh yeah,
like I mean, it really looks way more modern than it should, considering that this is
that motherfucker
87.
wants to fight a truck with a knife.
He did.
Yeah, he did.
He did. He whipped
He
it out
squared
on
up.
the truck. He said, "Duh."
About to stab truck.
Yeah,
man.
that's some like Steve Zissou shit. You know what I'm saying? Like when he runs into the gunfight,
Yeah,
the other with a pistol.
That's good.
Love it, man.
Yeah.
So we gotta check
Excited
that out.
for
Definitely
this.
watch
Excited
that
for this.
trailer.
Yeah,
Watch it.
Absolutely.
That's gonna be a day one purchase for you, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, it puts you in the mindset of like Miyazaki because
Yeah, that's
It
what I was
does have
thinking.
a kind of Miyazaki feel, but
that
it's-
painterly look.
But again,
Yeah.
like it's also like when this is early Gainax, it also feels very early Gainax
Right,
as
yeah.
well.
Yeah.
This is pre-Evangelion Gainax right here, guys.
dude,
And
kill it.
boy,
Yeah, man,
Yeah.
that's some shit. So this.
I'm hyped for this too now.
Right.
Apparently.
Okay, so is it not live
Monster
yet?
Hunter Rise
No.
Sunbreak.
No.
Okay.
No, they got pre-orders out right now. You can pre-order it right now.
How much
Okay.
is Sunbreak as DLC?
Oh, it's like $40.
Woo!
I thought it was $29.99, but I mean, okay, that's damn it, man. So that means that I wonder what they're gonna do once
I mean,
it
it's
launches.
almost a whole fucking new game.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Like it's not just new monsters.
Like
I mean,
Iceborne.
this is a whole
Iceborne
like
was
new
a whole-
quest.
Yeah.
new-
Oh yeah.
In a new area and
Yeah.
new, like your hub world is a different village.
Okay,
you
yeah.
know, kind of
Yeah.
thing. I mean, it's almost they could have released this as its
a
own
standalone.
as a
game, yeah.
standalone
Well,
thing,
that's
which
what
they're
I'm
pretty
wondering.
much doing. you
Right.
know?
I wonder what they're gonna do to as far as a bundle of giving you Sunbreak and the original game. Because if the original game is still what $40,
I think it's 60 for a bundle. 'Cause
Oh.
I was looking at that.
okay,
Yeah.
that's not bad for a bundle.
For a bundle,
Okay,
yeah.
yeah,
But
it's
if
not
you're
bad.
buying it standalone,
then that's
Yeah.
$100.
then that's
Yeah.
you know.
Huh.
So
Because I was just thinking about getting Monster Hunter Rise. Oh, please don't
And
do
now
this
that
to
price
me.
tag went up.
Yeah. I'm like,
That's
okay,
what
happened.
I'll wait.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You could always wait just to get this
Yeah,
part
they
of
got
it.
they got a right now if you pre-order it you can get skins for your Palico and your
Oh, yeah.
Palamut.
Okay.
But they
Yeah.
just make them look like a regular cat and a regular dog.
Oh.
And I'm like,
But I
Huh?
got
I
Battle Cat.
almost-
You got Battle Cat.
yeah, I was about to say. Well, that's the thing. Is like they almost got me. I almost pre-ordered it, but then I was like, I don't want them to look like regular cats and
Regular-
dogs.
I have a cat.
I have a dog. You know, I want a battle cat.
Right.
I want a nine-tailed fox.
What if
I
what if
wanna-
it was
I want to
Nintendo?
dress him.
Huh?
Oh.
I mean, they look. They
Now,
do. To be completely
I
honest, the
don't
skins
know.
kind of look like
They
that.
look like
I was gonna
They
say,
absolutely look
if
like
you
that
give me a
shit.
super cute dog with floppy
That's what I'm
ears,
saying.
I'll
it's
think
pointy
about it.
ears, and he's a real fluffy.
Nah, man.
motherfucker.
Oh,
Yeah.
You just want-
I
mean,
kind of like it.
It is adorable,
Right.
And it almost got me, but
Oh.
then I remembered I don't pre-order software.
Ah, Clifford, man. You just
Right.
want Clifford.
I just
That's
want
Oh,
hey man,
man.
give me Clifford.
That
I'll ride
destructive
Clifford around that
bastard.
motherfucker.
Big- reckless.
You wrecked
Yeah,
us,
right.
dude. Yeah, dude. Wreck the town. You know? Oh, it's just Clifford.
Peeing on people's houses and stuff.
right? Well, he wrecked Town Square. I'm like, oh, yeah.
But the
that's
new,
Clifford.
all the new monsters look cool. I mean, the new village you go to looks cool.
Yeah.
You know,
Mhm.
I'm excited for it now that I'm a Monster Hunter fan.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
yay, more stuff.
Yeah. And it's good to see them, like, supporting Rise at a rapid rate.
Yeah,
you know?
totally.
Because
Uh-huh.
with Iceborne, you had to wait a little while.
Oh,
This-
yeah.
I mean, Rise came out, what, like November?
Yeah.
It hasn't been that.
It
No,
hasn't-
I thought it was longer than that. I thought this had been out for.
It hasn't been out for a
It
year.
It hasn't
I
been
don't
out for a
think.
year.
Really?
Yeah. And
I
so
thought
it's
it
just like,
got just now was kind of creeping up on the year.
no, because it wasn't out when we first started recording.
Mhm.
Nah, that's true.
Yeah, because we had a
Yeah.
conversation about it.
Today?
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Scott.
That's
Yes.
it today.
Exactly. Next.
Miss Marvel.
Miss Marvel, hey.
It looks like an MCU thing.
Well, it's just interesting to me. Okay, so Miss Marvel is going to be a series, from what I understand.
Yeah.
Yep.
Coming from Marvel
Mhm.
Studios.
Going to Disney Plus.
Right, focusing on, the new Miss Marvel,
Mhm.
which is a young Muslim girl,
Mhm.
and her adventures, and she wants to be special
She
and
gets
be a
big
superhero,
hands.
and she gets
She gets
exactly.
very big
but
hands.
here's
That's
another
she
thing:
does.
like they seem to have kind of deviated from her actual power set,
Mhm.
because that's her whole thing is that she can expand her body.
Yeah,
et
she's a
cetera.
lot more like
Mr. Fantastic.
Mr. Fantastic in the comics. But
Uh-huh.
again, I haven't read any of the comics, so I don't know if that's maybe a power set that like. I don't
Well,
know.
but
Like,
this is more like she gets these cosmic bracelets. And
Yeah.
So it makes me really think more like Green Lantern.
Okay.
than anything
Oh, that's a
else.
good way to put it.
Right,
Yeah.
so she can like
Uh-huh.
manifest things, and
Yeah.
then also grow her hands.
I
They
wonder
showed
if
that in the
that's
trailer.
I wonder if that's a way to kind of continue to distance themselves from like the Agents of Shield and the Inhumans and stuff like that, because they the way. Because she came about was actually created in the comic books during the time that they didn't have the X-Men.
Oh,
So
yeah.
they were trying to figure out, okay, how do we still have the whole like mutant thing, and how can we still use the plot point where we don't have to explain origin stories beyond boom, they were born like this.
Right.
Like, basically
Mutants.
They,
Right.
they,
Yeah,
they couldn't use the word mutant
mutant.
for a while.
For real.
in the
They're
movies,
miracles.
In the movies.
Yeah, that's-
Yeah, there's little
exactly.
miracles.
They're Marvels.
And I can't remember what
Right.
they're called, but there's
Ah.
like this crystal that produces a gas that turns people into stuff.
The
And that's where-
Tarragon mists,
yeah,
bro.
Yeah,
Tarragon.
exactly. The Tarragon.
Oh,
Tarragon.
yeah.
Put a little
Yeah, a
Tarragon
little
on
tingly,
it. Yeah.
tingly mist.
Put your vinaigrette on there.
Right.
So maybe this is again like with the bracelets or the cosmic bracelets, instead of like having that be the Tarragon mists or whatever be her
Yeah.
backstory. It's
Boy,
just like, oh, you get this. So.
This is called merchandising.
Merchandising. Yeah, exactly.
All of a
that too.
sudden, you can sell some bracelets, and people are gonna be like, "Yeah, I'm
And
wearing
then
them."
Miss Marvel 2,
Yeah.
The Search for
But-
More Money.
But, more money.
You
But
know?
other than that, I mean, does this look like something you guys would watch?
Yeah, I mean, I'll
I
check
mean,
it out.
yeah.
I'll see how it is. I mean, I've been watching all the Marvel shows, so
I mean, might as well.
you know.
it just seems like it's aimed towards a younger,
audience.
demographic,
Younger,
right?
Completely agree
And
with you. Yeah,
and
which isn't
that's-
a bad thing.
no, it's not. You know,
know?
and I think it's actually a very
Do
positive.
you guys know about
thing.
Spidey?
No.
It's a 3D animated Spider-Man show where everybody looks like pop figures.
Mm-mm.
Yeah,
No.
and they have a little Gwen Stacy, a little Peter Parker,
I
and a little
don't
Miles
know.
Morales.
After
and
that
they all
whole
hang out.
Thundercats
Yeah.
roar thing, I
Oh,
was
yeah.
just like, you know what? Just
Yeah.
keep it.
I mean,
Yeah.
Deanna likes it.
Well, that's
That's
the
all
thing,
no,
right?
right? That's
when you're
right.
4 years old,
Uh-huh.
you see.
But I keep being like, but baby, you see the Amazing Spider-Man show is on here. We just watched that.
Nah, man. I mean, but that's good. Have something for the kids, and then
Yeah.
you know, it's very inclusive. You know, she's a Muslim, and you know, I think that's or she is Muslim, and I think that's also positive because you don't really get much positive spin on, you know, Muslims since
Seriously,
like
yeah.
fucking Bush,
Yeah.
you know, was in office, and
That era
it's
fucked
cool
that
to
shit
see,
up.
right, and it sucks because it's lingering, right? And all of a
Right.
sudden,
Yeah.
people have these, you know, weird preconceptions, like, oh, terrorists, and it's like, oh, god damn it, shut the fuck up.
Maybe now they'll be like superhero.
Yeah, right? You know, so I mean, it'd be interesting. I wonder
Yeah.
what kind of backlash there's going to be. Like, I just
man.
don't
You
like
can
how
already-
they're praying to the east. I don't
Same
like it.
can already
backlash
hear
that
it.
we get all the time.
Right.
Just, yeah, fuck it.
Let them cry.
Let them cry.
Let them
Let 'em
cry.
cry.
Yeah, there goes your hootie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's like
We need a
my
hootie,
hoodie. That's
man.
that's my Monster Hunter pocket.
Hootie.
For those of y'all
fall
who missed it,
down
I have
like
I have an
rain.
owl named Hootie in my
Yeah.
game.
I think they remember Scott.
No. I just want
Oh
I
yeah.
just want to make sure it's a joke. It's a joke. So
I'm good.
you know, when you explain a joke, it
Oh
gets
yeah,
funnier.
it gets funnier
The more
every
you
time.
explain it, yeah.
Absolutely,
Only
dude.
if you're Norm Macdonald. That's the only time.
That's because the whole time you're like, has he told a joke yet?
Yeah.
And he's like, I've been telling jokes for the past
The
3
whole
hours.
time.
You know.
He seems to be amused, but I don't know. Oh man. But yeah, it does seem like they're
and
going.
Gilbert Godfrey.
Fucking Batman. Oh man. But it does seem like they're going for like the you know, teen demographic for this one,
Right.
you
Oh,
know?
yeah.
So not super young kids. but,
Well,
like,
which would play
teenagers.
better for like the comics because that's exactly
Absolutely.
what the comic was
yeah.
targeted towards as well.
Uh-huh.
You know, so
Yeah.
it makes sense.
We'll see how it is though.
Yeah, I didn't see Squirrel Girl at all in this.
And that's
so-
all you're waiting for. Is
Oh,
Squirrel Girl.
come on. I just think it would be hilarious.
They can't reveal everything in the trailer. Yeah. So this
Oh.
looks funny. It looks
yeah,
pretty
it
funny
looks
to
pretty
me.
funny.
You know.
Yeah.
And I mean Banderas is coming back again, so that's
I
good.
I
you
am
know?
so happy just to hear his voice again.
Really, I know.
You know.
What's the last thing I've seen Antonio Banderas in?
And there seems, I think, I mean, feel like he's been getting a lot of work recently.
Has he?
He's kind of had
In
a
what,
resurgence
though?
to some degree.
Mm.
Nah.
I was gonna say,
feel-
like,
you
I
just
heard his
can't
name
name
You just
a
a lot.
feel
single-
that way.
Yeah,
I
I
just
feel it, man.
Yeah, I think only because we were talking
the
about him lately, but
Banderas.
yeah,
yeah.
you know. But I do. I just love that dude, man.
Yeah.
Like, I was a huge fan of his before. It was. I think
Oh, yeah.
Evita was the one that broke me, and I was just
Oh,
like, oh,
okay.
you know, maybe I
Yeah.
think I'm done. I'm
Yeah.
good. You know, you do
Yeah.
your thing. But
Yeah, that one's
yeah,
yeah.
you know. But him as Puss in Boots, let's
It's
go.
so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
so in this movie, Puss in Boots has expended 8 of his 9 lives.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's died 8 times and doesn't remember any of it. He's just
Uh-uh.
like, oh, I think I've died maybe like 4 times. Like,
He's
no.
like, I'm not a math guy.
You know, exactly right.
I like that one.
Yeah, and so of course you have that Shrek style of humor,
Mhm.
which of course we all love.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
You got Goldilocks and the 3 Bears. Really? Fairy
Yeah.
Godmother.
I got soured very early on with Shrek.
Fairy Godmother, bro. Really? That didn't do
Look,
it for you?
look, man. No, here's the thing. Like, I really liked the Shrek movies.
Yeah.
Really liked Shrek 2.
Dude,
and then we
it's
spent a week
Smash
in
Mouth.
high
That's
school.
what soured him.
Oh,
Smash
that'll
Mouth.
do
No,
it.
then we
I
spent a week in
understand.
high school watching and rewatching the same, like, 30 minutes of the first movie
Oh.
over and over
Dude.
and over and over and over
Hey man,
again.
I remember we used to
And
watch
just-
Space Jam daily
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
in my
Yeah.
elementary school. You know.
Yeah. So, I mean, it just,
So-
I don't know, it just kind of soured. And then, you know, Shrek the Third, I didn't think was all that great. And I just kind of dropped it after that. I was like,
Ugh,
okay, it's not
man.
for me.
Man.
It's not for me anymore.
Yeah.
Damn. Well, Puss in Boots is awesome.
This looks okay.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
And then seeing the I don't know her name yet, but the female protagonist
Mm-hmm.
that you know is over there making her big doe eyes and
Oh, with the-
making
Doing biscuits in the
doing
air.
biscuits in the air. That animation was beautiful, man. I was like, oh my god, those beans look so soft. I want to touch the beans.
Oh man.
Yeah, and so
Yeah, I'll watch this.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, and I hope that they actually mean this with the last wish. I hope they don't make any more Puss in Boots.
Oh, so they're gonna
You
kill
know?
his ass? Is that what you're
Well,
saying?
no. Just stop. And like
Your
don't,
wish is that this is the last.
that this is the last. Yeah, I don't want them just to keep milking this poor cat. 'cause
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever tried to
can
milk a cat.
Milk a cat,
I
you
don't
can
know if
milk
you
a
ever
cat.
tried to milk
Yeah.
a cat, but it's not as fun.
It's not
as
You're gonna milk
pleasant.
my
not
cat.
glamorous. You're gonna
You're
milk my
gonna-
cat.
you're
You're gonna
gonna-
milk me.
Yeah.
It's like, gonna milk me, fucker. You know. He's like, yes, I took his little teats and I just
Oh man, that's a movie that
It's
I
like
didn't
he's
like
got nipples.
When it
He's
first
like,
came
I got
out.
nipples, fucker.
I
You
totally
gonna milk me?
I did not dig that movie when it first came
I
out.
didn't either.
And then I kept watching it. I was like, man, no, this movie's hilarious.
Well, I thought it was
It's-
one of those movies that was just funnier in retrospect.
Right.
Like,
Mhm.
it's funnier to talk
Yeah.
about it than it is to actually watch it.
Yeah, like Anchorman.
Yeah.
Yeah,
hmm
yeah.
Totally.
Anchorman's not great, but in retrospect, it's very,
genius.
very funny. That's
Right.
the thing.
I think the problem with Anchorman was that we were so saturated with Will Ferrell at that point.
Oh, too much
that
Ferrell.
It was a lot of Ferrell.
Uh-huh.
Even though, like, milk was a bad idea.
Yeah, that was great.
That was
Milk
gold.
was a bad idea.
Yeah. Instead of chugging milk in the heat.
Yeah.
That is real good.
That's good shit, man.
Oh man.
And so,
So
boy.
this comes out on your birthday.
This comes out on March 22nd.
So I'm thinking
hey,
maybe we should have a birthday Returnal stream.
I'm with it.
Yeah.
I'm with it.
All right.
I
Yeah,
went
try
ahead.
this-
I went ahead.
try
I
this
just took
tower.
off. I'm
Yeah.
off. Yeah. I was gonna be
Cool.
working, and I said, you know
What
what?
is that, Thursday?
That's Monday.
That-
That's sorry, Tuesday. That's Tuesday.
Tuesday. Wow, so you got
Yeah.
Monday and Tuesday.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah. So Tuesday. Well, Tuesday's the 22nd, so that's when it'll actually go live.
Yeah.
But no, they're adding co-op. So they haven't really discussed what co-op is going to be quite yet. You
Yeah.
know, it's definitely a separate mode from your single player.
Yeah.
It seems
It's
like
definitely
you
a
go through,
separate mode. It's
because
because I'm not sure about that.
Well, when I was watching the Tower of Sisyphus, which is
Yeah.
the most brilliant title for an endless
Yeah, totally.
mode
Just keep
ever.
pushing that rock.
Keep pushing that rock.
Just-
And no matter how high you push it,
Yeah.
it's going to come back down.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Boldy's gonna be smiling at you.
Absolutely, right? Exactly. And so with Ascension, you're getting a co-op mode. You're also getting an endless mode.
Yeah.
And that is our Tower of Sisyphus. They did I think it was like a 14-minute breakdown of Sisyphus.
Yeah.
And it's sick because it basically captures that moment-to-moment gameplay, which
Yeah.
is what really makes Returnal shine.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like just playing the game is so rewarding itself.
Right.
Like not having to worry about going through different biomes and not have to worry about
Mhm.
actually progressing and then having to start all the way over.
I
things
just
like
wonder
that.
how weapons are gonna work in the endless mode. Like,
What do you mean?
Well, I mean,
Like upgrading
Endless.
them
Well,
or
so how
Yes.
far'd you get, man, in the main game?
I am in the third biome,
Okay.
and so I just got my grappling hook.
Okay.
And
think you can cook?
Then I stopped. Oh yeah,
I got a grappling hook.
Oh, let's make this quick because I'm really booked. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, like I've said this to you, but the thing happens after the third biome.
Well, that's another thing. It's like all of this takes place very early in the game. I think it all takes place in the first biome.
Oh.
And so they said that if you have completed the game, then you'll have completely different dialogue when you get to the tower.
Okay. See, that's okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. And so they've
Okay. I'm
accounted
picking it
for
up
that.
then. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Because yeah, that's some shit happens. That's
Right.
all. And
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out how they can work all that in. And then there's also like a level thing that happens.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's all sorts of stuff in there, man. It's like, of course, you go in, you're fighting whatever mobs.
Yeah.
But there are also enemies that if you grapple into them, then they form a portal and they'll teleport you somewhere else where you might get like beneficial items,
Or you might fall
have to
into a
fight-
pit.
Exactly.
That's the way
Or
they
have to
do
fight
it.
some crazy boss.
Hey, guess
right?
what? Everything's acid.
Dude, exactly. And they actually showed one of the first bosses that you'll fight.
Yeah.
And some
Bad
of those
motherfucker,
patterns
dude.
are sick. Did you watch the video?
No,
You
no,
need to
I'm-
see it.
I'm-
Some of those patterns.
Man, it's coming out on Tuesday.
Right,
I'm just
there's
gonna,
no sense.
I'm just gonna
There's no
play
sense.
that shit.
Why do it to yourself? But man, I mean, there are some really
Yeah.
beautiful because they're all about Mesmer. That's the name of the game is
Man,
Mesmer,
yeah.
Yeah.
and it looks drop dead
Well,
gorgeous.
I just
Hell
gotta
yeah.
say though, man, this is a significant upgrade, and it's free.
yeah.
It's free,
It's free.
dude.
Hell yeah.
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 Meanwhile,
as if this
Team
game-
Garo is $16.
Dude, as if Returnal wasn't a
Like-
perfect game already. Returnal's perfect.
And
You know?
is it just one other person for co-op, or can you get a group?
I think it's only one, but they haven't covered co-op at all yet. They told
What if-
us
what if
about
you
it in
play
the state of play.
4-player co-op?
No, you're asking too much. You're asking too much, man.
It'll get wild in
Yeah,
there.
it'll get too wild in there. But I mean, when you really think about it, that's kind of what Housemarque does, man. You know what I'm saying?
They
Like,
release free DLC, and they keep
Right.
expanding their game over time. And then year 3, you're going like, holy shit, there's all this content that I didn't have when I first started.
exactly.
But
exactly.
they're
It's
working
like-
on a new title, though.
Yes.
So I don't see Housemarque stopping supporting Returnal. I just see them working on two things at
They're
once.
just going to keep growing
Yeah.
Returnal because at this point you don't have to do a lot to Returnal. You know, it's just like, okay, well, just here's a little something else we thought about.
We
You know what I'm
balanced
saying?
some
Like,
shit. We did this.
Yeah.
We gave you a new mode.
Yeah,
Here's
you
a
know,
new
we've
costume.
added some more. Well, I hope they did that.
More costumes?
I have not seen more costumes, but they did add more. What do you call them? Parasites.
Oh,
So,
really?
yeah, so we got more
Oh.
parasites in the tower.
There are new guns too.
Yes.
There's at least one
they,
new gun.
They added this one like crazy organic multi-rocket shooting launcher. I don't know. This shit's insane. Like apparently you're gonna find a lot of living weapons in there.
Cool.
And
Okay.
so
Yeah.
man,
Uh-huh.
it's gonna get wild. It's
Have
gonna
you,
get
have you
super
seen
wild.
the what is it? Corpse. Wait. Something.
corpse launcher?
No, it's this.
Damn it. I want to fire
I want
corpses
a
at
corpse
people.
launcher.
Yes.
I can't remember the name of this thing. Coil spine
What is that,
splitter or
catapult?
something. Maybe that's
Huh?
what it's called.
Catapult?
Catapult.
Corpse launcher?
Corpse launcher? Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Catapult.
Yeah, that's
But
what
how do
you
you make
do.
a personal
That's
one?
how you siege people.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
throw
exactly.
you
Throw
throw
corpses.
rotting
Yeah.
horses and cows
Yes.
into their
But how do-
city.
how do we
and
attach
give them
that?
the plague.
How do we attach that to
Yeah.
one's wrist?
Ah, well, you be a giant. That's how you do it.
That's how you do it.
If you just are a giant, then you can make this happen.
So we're back to tentacular.
Yeah.
Launching corpses at people. Romancing the corpses. But no,
Well-
this is really exciting news.
Yeah, and on Tuesday,
On
you can see
Tuesday.
us jamming on it.
Yes,
Hell
it's
yeah.
going down.
Yep, it's going down.
Meet me at Glue. Bro, look.
This shit
look.
is it? Oh,
Look,
oh,
man.
I
Did
you know
hadn't
about this?
seen
There-
You
there's
haven't seen
no-
this?
I haven't
This is
seen
the first
this.
time that you get to
Wow.
witness this.
There is no greater redemption arc than that of Mike
Wow.
Tyson.
Mike
There is
Tyson
no greater
Made
redemption arc. If
chewable
you-
THC gummies shaped,
Shaped
like,
like
ears
ears.
with a bite taken out of them.
Bro, stop it,
Man,
dude.
I wonder if he hit up Holyfield
Mike bites.
about this.
Who
Man.
cares? What's Holyfield gonna do?
Yeah.
He probably. I mean, well, they did do that. Holyfield did that boxing match, that
Yeah.
celebrity boxing match. Where
Oh,
he
yeah.
got his ass whooped.
Yeah,
You know,
seriously.
that was
Yeah.
rough. You know, and so Evander's just like, Mike, do I get a check? And Mike's like, no, you don't get a check.
No, you don't.
You know, you get a gut check.
your ear feeling.
You can check your ears. You know, check them for earwax. You know. Oh my God! So these are actually
Wow.
THC gummies
Mhm.
shaped like ears.
Shaped like ears. Called Mike Bites.
Yes.
He leaned in.
They are gonna sell, man.
He leaned into his lore, didn't
Oh my
he?
God! Do we know when they drop? Like, when can we get some Mike Bites,
I
bro?
don't know. We
Oh,
gotta get
no.
this Mike Bites.
Oh my God, dude! They're probably sold out already.
I can't
That's a
believe
good-looking
these
ear,
exist.
too.
I know.
That
Yeah,
is.
as
I think
far
they
as
did-
a gummy ear
That's
goes,
that is an ear.
that's
That-
the best looking
balls
gummy ear
balls
I've seen.
read, huh? Those balls,
Balls
read.
read.
Those balls read. Yeah.
Can you imagine
God.
how hard he was laughing when he came up with this idea?
Oh my God.
You know he was
He was high as
cracking
shit
up.
too.
Uh-huh.
What if we were fucking ears?
Oh, they were fucking ears.
Take that, Evander.
Your ears are making me hungry.
God.
Oh yeah. So
These are so good.
damn, man. He said Tyson admitted in 2019 that he spends $40K a month on weed.
Oh, whoa. What the
40
motherfuck is that?
40K a
40K?
month? Jesus, bro.
I don't understand. What's he doing?
Oh, I don't
He's
know.
just never not high.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, trying to keep himself from being Mike Tyson.
Yeah,
I
seriously.
don't wanna
I gotta
be
smoke
being
a bunch of
angry
weed
Mike.
so I don't break people.
Oh, dude, I love watching him in interviews.
Yeah.
Somebody says the wrong thing to
Oh,
him.
dude, he completely changes
Yes,
demeanor
uh-huh.
because he's a real nice guy.
He
If you're
is.
just talking to him,
Yeah,
dude,
just-
he's super friendly.
Just be cool.
He
be
loves cutting
respectful.
up. He loves yeah.
Don't be rude,
Dude,
because he'll check you real quick. You know, oh, you're being an asshole right
yeah,
now.
yeah, and you're like, I'm
You're
sorry,
like, oh, shit,
Mr.
you know,
Tyson.
I'll punch you in your
didn't-
fucking face.
Yes, you
You
will.
know?
I'm very sorry. Mr. Tyson. And then you don't look at him in the eyes the rest of the interview. You're like,
He's staring at you, directly at you the rest
I
of the
can
time.
feel your look. Yeah, that's funny, man.
Yeah, it's
That's
like,
funny.
here, Mike, have some mic bites. Have some
Yeah.
mic bites.
Man, like I remember seeing one with him and Norm, and Norm was actually saying some shit to him. Because he was fucking with him, and
I
he
can
started
see
being
that.
like, "Hey man, you gotta calm down." And Norm was being Norm about it, you know? So he wasn't.
No.
They almost look like those little chewy steaks you give dogs.
Yeah.
You know,
That's what I thought it was. When I
At
was
first,
like,
yeah.
It was like, why we got chewy steak?
yeah.
Oh.
Dogs don't know it's not ears.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I want to see how much mic bites are. They said 0.5 grams and 1 gram glass jars.
We need the bag.
Yeah, they're not giving me Albanese's Wait, no, that's something different. That's
That'd be
what
funny
it
if
was.
Albanese made them.
Right?
Like-
Oh my God, they'd be so delicious. They'd be so delicious. I'm just not seeing the price for all of this.
Oh, yeah.
Which I would love to, because we need to get some of these on the show.
Yeah. Which
Yeah, we're gonna work on that.
in gummy news, those juicefuls were good.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
Uh huh.
Iana really liked them.
Absolutely
Uh-huh.
good.
She knew who they came from immediately.
Yes,
Yeah,
the gummy, sewer.
fairy. Yeah,
I love
the
that.
gummy sewer.
Yeah, it's the gummy sewer.
Now that's it. Yeah, we need to make a gummy review channel.
Absolutely.
The gummy
I'm with
sewer.
it. Yes.
And fuck Sour Patch Kids.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, they're trash.
They're trash.
They are trash, dude.
The Quarry. The
This is a
Quarry.
surprise.
I
And-
was not expecting
And
this.
dude, that is very Friday the 13th.
Oh, absolutely.
That
Yeah,
is
no, they're leaning
literally-
in.
Yes, yes. So the Quarry is the new game by Supermassive
Yeah,
Games.
Supermassive. Uh-huh.
And so if you all haven't or have played it before, we had
Until Dawn.
Until Dawn before that.
Mhm.
And so you
And
know,
also the VR shooter version of Until Dawn. What was it called?
it was still called Until Dawn.
yeah, but it's called something. It's called Until Dawn
something else.
something else.
VR.
This other
but
thing.
but whereas in Until Dawn, you were these kids that went to this random cabin up in the
Mhm.
mountains, and it was all snowy, and it's all about the Wendigo. All this kind of shit.
Yeah, but it also
This
had a
is
whole
actually-
bunch of real actors, just like this one. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. David Arquette's in here.
Yeah, David Arquette. He's
but-
looking different.
David- yeah,
He's
yeah,
like,
looking a little different.
a little
But
different.
this all takes place like after like a summer camp,
Yeah.
and so all of these kids are at summer camp, and or actually it's at the close of summer camp, and
Yeah.
then there's some great evil out there. And
Of course there is.
yeah.
Yep.
And So if you don't know anything about their games, basically it's an interactive movie for the most part.
Yeah.
and this
You're
one's
just
going to be the
watching-
same, right?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah, it's gonna
yeah.
be set up the same
Yeah.
way. So you have all these characters, and based on the decisions that you make,
Mhm.
characters will live or die.
Yeah. It's a little exploration, a little choose your own adventure. It's
Yes.
a little,
little dialogue choices
Yeah.
here and there, things like
uh-huh.
that.
But you're mostly watching a movie. That's
Exactly,
Really, yeah.
exactly, which is actually quite charming in a lot of ways, because like with Until Dawn, I can't tell you how many times I'm like, okay, I'm gonna try to save this person, and due to my choices trying to save them,
fucked
they
up.
fucked. Yeah, they
Yep,
died.
uh-huh.
The only person who
Like,
survived
oh,
was
that
the
Saw went
one
in
woman
ya.
I was trying to kill.
Uh,
She was the worst person, and all I wanted to do was see her bleed, and it would not happen. And
Oh.
she was my survivor, and I'm just like, God damn it,
Man. That's the way they do you.
Uh-huh,
The shitty person survives.
And it's really interesting that The Quarry is even a thing, considering the Dark Pictures anthology and its success. It seems like it seems like everything would be cannibalized under that umbrella.
Yeah.
But Supermassive is like, nah, man, we got this
We're
whole
gonna
other thing to
have it
going
its
on over
own
here.
thing. Yeah, which I mean, I'm happy about this. I think it looks like an obvious visual upgrade from
Oh, God,
Until
it looks
Dawn.
beautiful.
Yeah, it looks great. And all the actors look exactly like their real world counterparts.
Mhm.
And I mean that's kind of what Until Dawn had going for it so well. Which I guess,
Especially after the PS5.
yeah,
Yeah, playing
Yeah.
on PS5 is just it's beautiful, man.
Yep, and like having people that are real actors playing these characters,
Right.
fully mocapped, fully face capture, all that shit. What I
Right.
mean, it's great. I'd like to see more games lean into that.
Well, Horizon does.
Horizon does. I mean, God of War
God of
does.
War
You know,
does. Mhm.
it
And
seems
so-
like some of the better AAA experiences.
usually
now
you
are
have to
really
look to
doing that.
Sony for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
Well,
They're-
is this
they're
going to
really
be
good with that.
cross-platform? It's going to be Sony,
It
right?
should be cross-plat. They didn't
I don't think
say.
Until Dawn was.
No, Until
was a-
Dawn was a PS4 exclusive.
Yeah, so this might also be a
Yeah.
PlayStation exclusive, Yeah. They're killing it, dude. They have a level of quality that the other consoles aren't going for, man. You know, it's exactly this kind of shit. Yeah,
dude. Okay, whatever. We
so
just
they got
win.
another one.
We just win. Jesus, Sony, what are y'all doing, man? What are y'all doing? And then, I mean, even once again, just going back to VR, having like little experiences like this in VR, even just like a little movie that you can play through.
Rush of Blood.
Rush of Blood. Yes.
Took me a second.
Yes. Yeah, there we are. Yeah.
Yep.
Which was fantastic.
Oh, it was great.
You know,
yeah.
it had nothing to do with the original game, really. You know, at all. But you're just on-rail shooter. But those pigs, man,
You were literally on rails,
bro.
Yeah.
because
you're
you're
in
like
a roller coaster.
yeah,
Yeah. You're running in the mine cart. Yeah.
with your little toy gun, and then all of a sudden shit gets real.
It's terrifying, man. Like
Yeah.
all those saw blades all around you, and those pigs like cut open.
Oh,
and
dude,
shit.
they all
Like,
start writhing in that one spot. They like you're
Yeah.
just in this room with all these pig corpses, and then all of a sudden, all of them activate at once. And you're just like just it's fucked up, man.
Yeah, that's a win. It's a win. And so we don't have a release date for this quite yet, but it looks good. So if you like horror,
That's
go
gonna be
and
one
check it
that
out.
I just get. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no question on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, you got it.
Isn't that the lady from Kingpin? His landlady.
On the left.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, what a great movie,
That's one of my favorite.
dude! Look, the first time I
is-
saw this,
Yeah,
image-
this looks wacky.
Like,
I don't know.
it's a Dark Souls parody. It's what
Yeah,
it is.
well-
I love the character customization screen.
Oh, yeah.
Nothing does anything.
No,
at
you're
all.
just a stick man.
Yeah, you're a stick man.
Yeah.
It's Stickman Souls, and
Yeah.
so when I first saw this image, I'm just like, what are we doing now?
Yeah.
And I almost didn't watch it, because I'm just like, God, it's stupid. But then I thought it said nostalgia, so I thought that they were gonna do some weird
Yeah,
shit
that's
with
how
some
I spelled
old
it. I
IPs,
didn't-
but it's now still Gaia.
Yeah.
Still
Yeah.
got
It's
ya.
Yeah,
Little
and so
different.
and it is Dark Souls.
Yeah.
All day, but
Uh-huh.
you're a stick man.
Mhm.
And so, like they said, the character customization screen has all the sliders for your nose, your mouth, your endowment.
Your
Yeah.
Yeah, you
And
know
you
what I'm
got
saying?
you got a narrator the whole time that's just not okay with you being there.
Yeah, no, he
Yeah.
hates you.
He's
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
a jerk.
Yeah, 'cause apparently
It's
something
awful.
happened and everything in the world was pixelized. And
Yeah.
he's like, the pixels are the problem. And you are nothing but pixels. And so
Yeah.
he's like,
So you're the fucking problem. Basically.
you're the problem. And so the writing style is, okay, the gameplay style is very much Dark Souls.
It
It
They're
is
going for the
literally-
Soulsy.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is literally that. But you're
Even the
stick-
cast and everything.
Yeah, absolutely. But the writing for it is really more kind of like Bard's Tale.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Yeah, like, I mean, that narrator is hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he just jabs at you the entire time.
Did you play through what is it, Mage's Tale?
I didn't play through it, but I put maybe like 5-6 hours into it.
It's
and
good.
I loved it.
Yeah.
It's a good time. And I always meant to go back to it. Just
Yeah.
never did.
Mm-hmm.
It's on Steam, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Because I would rather play it there than playing it on PSVR. That's
Yeah.
where I was playing it originally.
The first version of it, like, it was pretty blurry, but they did do an update later that made it look a lot better.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, just that narrator writing. That's all I'm getting at. Yeah, that whole series has that tongue-in-cheek medieval, wink wink nudge nudge kind of thing the whole time. It's fucking good. Yeah.
Yeah. If you're a Souls fan, definitely watch this trailer because it's everything that you want.
I was just
from
shaking
gameplay.
my head the whole time.
The
I
whole
was just
time
going
it was
wow. They just wow, okay. It's like you remember 3D Dot Heroes?
Yes.
That's what this kind of reminds me of, just that for Zelda, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Which it turns out 3D Dot Heroes is an insanely rare PS3 game.
Oh wow.
Like worth a couple $100 kind of. Like,
Okay. All right.
Yeah, and I used to have a fucking copy of it. Kicking myself,
Dude,
and that's a From Software game.
There are a lot of games right now that are kind of giving a nod to classic Zelda.
Right.
You know,
Uh-huh.
like
Oh,
with,
Yeah.
Death's Door, Tunic just dropped as well.
Tunic. I haven't seen
Tunic,
anything about that.
where you're this cute fox.
Oh,
but-
that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that looks awesome.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and so that's another one worth looking at. But
yeah.
I love seeing these nods to that classic style of gameplay.
Nobody's
because,
trying to make Zelda 2 again.
I mean,
though.
that's been
That's what I
kind
want
of
to
a,
see.
well, Link to the Past is arguably the best Zelda ever made. Like in my estimation, some people say
no,
Ocarina,
no,
but Link to
no,
the
Link
Past.
to the Past.
was-
main Link to the Past.
Yeah,
is
that's the
definitely
best
mine.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
But you pretty much got a remake or like an update.
Oh,
when they
Tunic
did,
is on Game Pass. Ooh.
when they
stop
did
it.
Link Between Worlds.
Yeah.
I mean, that
Oh,
was
dude,
essentially
yeah.
a Link to the Past remake with a few extra features.
Did you play Four Swords Adventure?
Yes,
No.
I did.
Man, did you guys get to play it with people?
Mhm,
Or did
I
you?
did.
Dude,
That was a great time.
it was a great time. You could pick your friends up and throw them.
Now
You could
is
do all
a
that
good
shit.
time to return to that.
A Four Swords Adventure kind of thing?
Yes.
Yeah, totally.
Yes,
Mhm.
because I feel like the Switch kind of is lacking in that multiplayer, the online multiplayer department.
Yeah, and you could definitely can connect 4 controllers to the Switch
Easily.
without a problem. So
Yeah.
it's, that'd be easy.
That'd be a really good idea.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's coming down the pipeline.
Man, Four Swords Adventure is fucking awesome.
It is really,
Yeah,
really
man.
good. It is really, really good.
Yeah.
And so,
Want to
but-
dip to the next
well,
thing?
he's gonna dip to the new Hogwarts,
Hogwarts Legacy. What is this?
It is
I mean,
Harry
it's Harry
Potter.
but-
Yeah, of course. So essentially, what they're doing is creating an open world game, where you can actually create your own wizard and take them through the Hogwarts Academy. So basically, you make a character, you pick, your house,
Right.
and then you
Yeah.
actually have to go to Hogwarts. And then after that, the adventure, kind of spirals outside of that area.
I got you.
And so as far as the spell casting, it looks really, really cool. It looks very in depth. A lot of people are just like, I don't know if I'll play it because J.K. Rowling is canceled. And I'm just like, I'm not really the biggest Harry Potter fan,
Right.
but I like cool video games. And
Yeah.
so I don't really care about the politics of it all personally.
Yeah.
Personally, but that's just me. I'm a bit removed from it. Because I think this game looks awesome.
Yeah.
Have you watched the trailer? Have you seen
No,
anything?
I haven't seen anything about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it looks glorious. Like it was one of the titles that they gave us information on at the initial announcement or release of the PS5. They're like, okay, here are the games that are going to be coming out for
Right,
PS5, and it looked fantastic back then. But I think it looks really, really cool. Like for those Harry Potter fans. They're going to be
Oh, yeah,
very
this is
amazing
for
they're
Harry
gonna be
Potter fans.
very,
Yeah.
very happy
Yeah.
with it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
They really captured the look
Yeah.
You
The look and the feel, and
and those
I mean,
particle effects.
They're sick.
Boy.
They're sick.
Yeah.
All their spell casting looks really, really good, and so I'm not the biggest Harry Potter fan personally, but if it's good software, I'll play anything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
see, I'm right there with
you
you,
go.
man. It's a I don't know that I'd play this, but I do think for people that are into Harry Potter,
Oh,
this
yeah,
looks
it's a good thing.
fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But like I said to you earlier, to me, I kept looking at it and being like, oh, so it's like Bully with magic.
right.
You know?
Yeah. I don't think they'll let you push around the other students.
Oh, why
I
not?
I mean, I hope you can
Only
do
if
that.
you're in Slytherin.
You
That's
know,
right,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, hopefully
Secret
you
dick
can.
move.
Yeah, and so, but go check out that trailer. It looks really dope. A couple of last points before we move on. Like we were saying earlier, Mario Kart 8 got its first track pack.
Yeah, and if
And
you
so-
were, were a member of the expansion pass, then you got all that for free.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I haven't tried it yet. I downloaded it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
cool.
but
So
I haven't looked at it at all.
How many
Well, we
tracks
know
is it?
how-
Like 50?
25?
Oh, okay.
25,
Still,
26, I think.
fuck,
Yeah.
man.
Still, it's
That's
a
a
lot.
lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot. And so we'll have more information on that next week. But also, so we got a little bit of bad news with Halo Infinite. So apparently they have lost 95% of their player base, which is
Dude.
fucking crazy.
I mean, I dropped off.
I mean, I did
Yeah.
too.
And it's not because the game was bad. Game's great.
Yeah. Well.
I just think I had enough of it. I was like, cool, Halo, it's back.
Well, yeah, and then their progression system is trash, and just the way everything's just really it just seemed like
yeah.
it was
Yeah.
half baked. But it was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of
great
fun.
fun. But it's like barely making it into the top 10 like most played games on Xbox platforms. Which for a Halo game to not even edge into the
Oh, that's
really really bad.
Yeah, man.
Also, multiplayer has been delayed yet again.
Yep,
So
the co-op. Yeah.
the co-op. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
well, not multiplayer. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Campaign co-op.
Yeah.
So it was supposed to come in season 2, and now they're saying it won't make it to the beginning of season 2. They're saying maybe the end of season 2, probably season 3. but that's uncertain as well. They're saying having an open world FPS game has created a lot of complications that they couldn't foresee. And it's like, meanwhile, Elden Ring's over here just working.
Right.
And, you know, it's just like, okay, guys.
Wow.
And so a lot of people are just like, you know, what the fuck is this? Like,
Yeah, look, From Software did it. They're
Yeah.
not even that great at making games. Like,
you know, yeah, they make great games, but they're not that great at making games. Yeah. You know, but it works and it's fun. But so yeah, Halo's kind of in a really bad place right now. And it's unfortunate, man.
It is. I think that they've continued to stumble over. I mean, I think that they made the right decision releasing the multiplayer before everything.
Yeah.
Because that's the best part about the game.
Right.
You know? But as soon as the campaign, like, I liked the beginning of the campaign. I thought it was cool. And then I got into the open world, and I was going like, man.
Why everything got to be open world? You know,
This one
what
didn't
couldn't
need it.
just-
This
yeah,
one
what
really
couldn't
didn't
just give
need
me
it.
a focused experience.
You could have given me a linear story with Halo, and I
Yeah.
would have been happy.
Because
Just
Halo's
make it a
all
good
about
one.
the set pieces, man.
Right.
It's all about that moment-to-moment gameplay,
Yeah.
which is why I, you know, congratulate Housemarque
Yeah.
on being like, okay, we get it. We mastered that 15 seconds of fun, right?
Mhm.
So let's just give you nothing but that.
Right.
You know,
right.
that'd be a smarter path. It's like, okay,
Well, it's
you like
like-
that 15 seconds, so here's that. Infinite.
Well, so you like you said, the moment-to-moment gameplay is kind of the strong suit of Halo, right?
Yes.
And it being open world makes everything feel more samey and less
Dynamic.
sure. I was gonna say like less interesting beat for beat, I
Right.
guess. But like, if you look at, for instance, the way that Metal Gear Solid 5 approached doing open world with that, because the Metal Gear's the same kind of thing, right? Set pieces, beat for beat. That's the way we're trying to make the story work, right?
Right.
They did a really good job of like, oh, hey, you're in the open world, and then you stumble on cutscenes,
Right.
and then it draws you into another story point, and it makes it deep in that way. Halo doesn't really do that. Halo
Right.
does the same thing they've been doing. Oh, well, my AI's talking to me. Yeah, go take out this tower. Oh, okay. I guess I'll do that. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like they should have waited.
Yeah.
They should have just focused on multiplayer
Mhm.
and try to make that experience as good as humanly possible,
Yeah.
and add more and more content to keep the community engaged and keep eyes on Halo.
Oh, yeah.
Because people will forgive it. You know, it's like, okay, fine. I can't play the campaign quite yet, but this multiplayer is super fun.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yep,
You know,
yep.
it's free to play.
Mhm.
You know, I feel like I'm making progress. My time's not being wasted. And then,
But if I paid
polish up-
$60 for Infinite as a campaign, if I'd bought that game, I would have been fucking pissed.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really, really bad, especially to be like, oh, yeah, remember that multiplayer that we said we're going to have at launch? We're not going to have that.
You're never going to get to play with your friends.
Yeah.
It might happen. Where's our Everse? You know what I'm saying? Like, this happens in the modern era of video game development, where it's like, okay, we want to do this one thing.
That's what I want to know,
and then you
Capcom.
never
Where is
quite
our
get there.
Everse?
Where's our Everse? You know
And
what I'm
they're
saying? This is like, right, for real. Like, DLC for
Did you see that new movie? We made a new Resident Evil movie.
Yeah, they do. They have another one coming out. Have you seen that? Yes, there's another one.
Is it a sequel to that last trash we watched?
Absolutely not.
Oh,
you know,
my God.
this is supposedly more based on like the no. This is the one where they're telling the story of Raccoon City from multiple different perspectives. It's like, hey, here's what was going on over here. With right.
Yeah.
No. I'm sorry. What it is one storyline is going to take place like before everything that was going down with Wesker's children. The main characters are Wesker's children, and then the other part of the story happens in the future after everything's already like destroyed, and Wesker's daughter is like surviving in the post-zombie apocalyptic world. And
I'm
you know,
confused.
this is the story that we all wanted, right?
This sounds like a bunch of bullshit.
This is what we asked for.
Nope.
It's not. I
Not
thought
what
I
I
thought
asked
that's what we
for.
wanted.
Nope.
Oh,
Not what I wanted.
Well, where the fuck did this come from?
I don't know.
Why did Wesker? How did Wesker get babies?
I don't know. I just want my mercenary mode in VR. That's all.
Yeah.
I just come on, guys.
You know,
Just
for
give me
real.
that.
Keep
I think they're just trying to distract us from where the fuck is our universe.
Right,
Yeah.
I know.
You know,
Let's
like,
throw
stop
everything
asking
at
about
them,
it.
and maybe they'll forget.
Right.
Look at all this other Resident Evil stuff we got going on. Man,
Yeah,
because that
dude.
shit was completely borked when it came out, right?
Yeah,
the
yeah.
demo, or
Yeah,
the
the beta was broke, and it was super bored.
They took it down like that day, didn't they?
Uh-huh.
They're like, oh shit,
And
close that
then
laptop.
when the game actually came out, they're just like, nah, you'll see it later. They let you install it and everything.
Yeah,
and it's
they
like,
did.
nah, servers aren't live.
Uh-huh.
We don't know when. You know. Now we're just gonna sweep it on under the
It's
rug.
been abandoned, just like that game.
Right? Oh, you were so excited.
No, I'm rage excited. It's like a stop fucking with me and show me something so I can stop feeling this way.
And unfortunately, they will not.
No,
Nope.
they're gonna keep fucking with me.
But onward to the good stuff.
On to the main topic.
On to the meat.
Arcane.
Arcane.
Big Daddy Arcane.
Hell yeah.
Man, I'm
Speaking
so
of Big Daddy.
Finally, it was my wick. My wick. It
my wick.
was my wick. Yeah, wet my wick, baby. It was my week to pick what we were gonna watch, and I kind of felt bad about it. I'm just like, man, this is a commit. Well, it's a time commitment, right? Like 9 episodes at 40 minutes apiece. That's a fair amount of time, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, and so I felt unfair about that. However, this is just an experience that everyone needs to have. You know, like Arcane is so just brilliant.
It's beautiful.
It's I dare
Like,
say
I'm
that it's perfect.
Okay.
I'll say it.
Okay.
I'll say
All
it.
right.
Like I mean, I can't tell you how frequently I was watching and just like on the edge of my seat.
Yeah.
You know, like oh my god, like what's happening? And then all of a sudden things just get worse and worse.
Yeah.
And oh man, but how do you guys feel about it?
I loved it. Took a little while for the first episode to really start like hooking me. But then when the Blue Rock go boom, it was just like off to the races.
Oh yeah,
like
absolutely.
And then I saw like this kind of, they look like all of like the fire and smoke effects and water and just anything that moves that isn't part of the characters or like the set itself are all animated in this kind of 2D.
Dude, there's smoke.
I'm pretty
like,
sure there's
kind of
separate
stuff,
layers in 2D
separate
animation.
layers and stuff,
Absolutely.
and like, and this is obviously it's a CG animated show, so you wouldn't think that would work, but it
works just fine.
so
Yeah.
well. And every single time that I saw that happen, it was just like, how does this show look this good?
It looks really good.
You know,
Using
like,
like 3D
it's
models with
fucking
2D
beautiful.
textures. and-
Yeah.
Oh, the
There
smoke.
are a couple of things about the way it looks that I think bugged me, but it's like super subtle stuff.
Like what?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so I hate it when, and a lot of games have this going on, and a lot of CG stuff has this going on. Let's say you got a guy that has some kind of clothes going on, but then they have hard things on the clothes. So let's say like metal buckles or something like that, right?
Usually.
So in general, what you would want is the cloth move, but the buckles to stay the exact same shape.
Right.
This has some of that squishy animation where
Right.
like the hard fixtures on
Oh,
people's
yeah,
clothes
yeah.
would move as though the rest of the stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But that's like the only stuff that bothered me about the animation.
Yeah.
I'd look at it and be
Right.
like, you guys did such a good job at everything else. Couldn't you have made that a hard object that doesn't do this? But that's me being picky.
Yeah.
Other than that, though, it's fucking beautiful.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that the it's got some look somewhere between like Dishonored and the Clone Wars,
And
the later
Borderlands.
seasons of the Clone Wars.
It
you
looks
know?
very Borderlands.
Looks very Borderlands. Okay,
Mhm.
yeah, very like we were talking about earlier. Very
almost
Thinking,
cell-shaded, but
Bioshock
not.
Infinite, man.
yeah,
Yeah.
painterly
Yes.
look. Yeah, kind of that Blizzard art style kind of look to it. You know,
Mhm.
like yeah, it looks great. Yeah.
Yeah. And neither one of you guys have played League of Legends.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
So
Nope.
yeah.
Where's
Yeah.
Robbie at?
Yeah. So
Right?
this would be
Yeah.
y'all's first experience with like the lore. And
Any of
the-
it.
Right.
Yeah.
Any
Right.
of this.
Yeah.
Like I knew of some of the characters just because they have so many cool character designs,
Yeah.
and I would look them up and just be like, okay, those characters look really, really cool. Because
Mm-hmm.
I was interested in League, but then I look at what League actually is, and I'm like, that's
no,
not
not
what
for
I
me.
want. Because they have very good marketing, right?
Yeah,
So
totally.
if you look at any of their AMVs, you know, all the stuff that they've done with like KDA, all those, you know, the music videos and shit,
Right.
that are just dope for no reason.
Yeah.
You know, they'd also do the same thing, kind of like what Overwatch did,
Yeah.
where they'll have these like just separate storylines that you can like watch on YouTube or whatever. And then it's like, oh, these look really cool. But the game is nothing like that. You know, they'll reveal a new character and, you know, have this badass CG, like, fight scene with them, all this kind of shit. And then you go to look at the game and it's like, oh, this is not the same. Yeah. It's not the same. And so those things were interesting to me, but I never actually touched League, right?
Okay.
And so...
Yeah.
But
Okay.
that's
So
the best
this
thing
is
about this show is that it really doesn't require that you know.
No. You can.
All three of us had no knowledge, and we enjoyed it thoroughly.
And it's a pretty self-contained thing, I would say. And I'm not gonna go into spoilers, but the ending kind of left a little something to be desired.
That's the thing
It's
I do not like
divisive.
about it.
So
this ending
absolutely.
is very divisive.
So, but
and we'll talk
again,
about
I
that in a
wonder
minute.
if you were invested in the I almost said League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. No,
Sean
that's
Connery.
not right. No, if you were,
Sometimes
I
you
guess
need a
if you
rap
were
in the mouth.
invested in that lore, maybe that ending wouldn't bother you so much because you know what's coming afterwards. Because this is supposed to be like kind of a prequel thing, showing how at least some. Because
Well,
what is it?
it's
Vi
I mean,
and Jinx are actually in the game.
It's
Right.
definitely
Yeah.
when the Hex Tech is being developed,
Okay.
and Hex Tech is a thing in the game.
A thing in the
So
game,
I mean,
right.
that's all I really.
These are just a
you know.
couple of the champions from
Yeah.
League of Legends
Right.
and
But
fleshing out some of their story.
Yeah, it's pretty
Right.
much
You
an
know,
origin story for
And
them.
so,
But it
yeah.
mainly
Yeah.
revolves
And so-
around Vi and Jinx.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And
that's
so-
that's
Or
like our
powder.
that's
Like,
like
out
our
of-
A plot. Yeah,
Yeah.
our
Yeah.
powder.
Yeah.
And so for all of the characters that are all the champions, which there are like more than 140 of those in League.
In the game.
You
yeah.
know,
Jesus,
like
man.
they've only used maybe like 10 of them in this entire
Yeah.
series.
Yeah.
And those two are the you know, the focus of the
Protagonists.
stories.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're the focus of the story. Well, I don't know if I call them the protagonist. I think that the true protagonist is kind of the guy that ends up being the Chancellor. Okay,
Chase.
if you want to watch Arcane,
Mm-hmm.
spoiler free, you know,
Yeah.
maybe turn us down to one volume, because we cannot have this conversation without getting spoiling.
Right.
Yeah, we can't do it.
Spoilers
Um,
for the entire series.
yeah,
but this has
and-
also
and-
been out for a while, so
We should be cool.
Most
You should be
people,
fine.
yeah,
Well,
they'll
I know a
probably
lot of people who don't know about it.
Right.
And I know a lot of people who didn't watch it because they don't know anything about League of Legends. And they
Right,
feel like if
right.
I don't have that information, then this won't make sense to me.
I mean, I felt that way a
And-
little bit going in. I thought
Dude.
that this was going to be so in its own world that I wouldn't be able to jump on board. But
Right.
that
No,
isn't
no.
at all the
It's
no,
not
you can
at all
attach
the-
yourself to.
There's
There's at least one character here that you're going to be able to attach yourself to.
Right.
and follow.
This is an emotional roller coaster.
Oh,
of a show.
seriously,
It
God.
truly is.
It seems all happy-go-lucky at the beginning.
Uh-huh.
Woo!
Yeah, well, it's separated into 3 acts, and so that's
yeah.
how it
Yeah,
was
pretty much.
originally released.
Mm.
It was released in 3
Oh.
parts, and so you had the first 3 episodes, Act 1, then the second 3 episodes a week later, Act 2.
Yeah.
Then a week after that, you had Act 3, the final 3. And so that's why like it may seem kind of time skippy at certain points.
No, that makes sense. That
Yeah.
makes
Well,
a lot of
yeah,
sense.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
because I mean, I noticed the time skip, but they didn't really address it. It just happened.
It just happened.
on episode 4, you're just later. You're like,
Episode motherfucking 3, man.
Yeah.
Dude, episode
That's
3.
that's what kicks it off. That's
Yeah.
when it gets serious. And so
that shit.
dude,
that
goes
was,
straight
it
to-
was so emotional.
yeah.
And just we'll get into it.
Okay,
Anyway,
yeah,
you want
so-
to throw up spoiler warning?
Yeah.
Spoiler
warning.
Yeah, so
Spoiler warning.
what had
Spoilers
happened?
abounds.
yeah.
Get him, Phil.
Oh, I got to do it.
Yeah, what had happened?
Well, okay, so it starts out with a ragtag group of street rat kids
Delinquents.
that are trying to
Riff Raff Street Rat. I don't buy that.
to theft them some magic items from a guy's house, and they don't really realize whose house they're breaking into, you know. And it's so. What are the 2 guys' names? 'Cause I don't
So
remember
you've
'em.
got
'Cause you got-
Milo.
Milo,
Yeah.
which I love Milo.
Yeah.
I love Milo. And what was his name? Like Cragger? Kruger.
Bogart.
Yeah, right. It's a ridiculous name. God, he reminded me so much of the dude from
Final Fantasy VII.
No. Well, yes, that too. Biggs.
Yeah.
Biggs.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
pretty much
was
is
very
Biggs.
much like Biggs.
Very
But
big.
he also reminded me of the guy from what was his name? Badger from
Oh, from Breaking
from
Bad?
Breaking Bad. He reminded me so much of Badger. You know, like he really did.
Damn, I didn't
Even
put
the way
that one
the way that
together.
he speaks, like
Oh
everything
my
about
God.
him, dude. I'm like, he is so fucking Badger.
Badger. Well, and the other one's kind of like the other dude. That funny enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. And so, anyway, just proceed. We'll get his name.
Yeah. So the four of them travel because basically there's a big class disparity in this world.
Yeah.
And so there's all the folks down here and all the folks up here, and so
Yeah,
they
it was Clagger.
Clagger.
It is his name.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just sounds so bad. It's an awful name.
Clagger's a bad name.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but he
Yeah.
can
Bad
throw
mouthfeel,
down.
you know.
Huh?
Bad
Yeah.
mouthfeel.
Yeah, totally.
Bad mouthfeel.
Clagger. I'm like,
Fits that character because he can throw down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Flagger your jaw.
Yeah.
Totally.
Oh, yeah, I loved his goggles.
Yeah.
Oh, those
But
goggles.
so they go break into a guy that's in the academy, I guess.
Yes, he's
Right.
he's
It's
one
like
of
a
the scientists in
Right.
the academy.
Yeah.
In the
and
academy.
he's working on magic tech.
He has his
magical
own
tech.
secret project of how to make magic technology rather than an arcane ability, right?
Mhm.
He's trying to go in a different direction and bring magic to help people, and they break into his shit and start taking some of his items, and some of them are very volatile. He has these little crystals. Do you remember what the crystals are called?
Hex crystals?
Hex crystals,
I mean,
Yeah,
something
well,
like that.
there
Yeah.
are two phases of them.
Yeah.
But the original ones,
yeah.
the unrefined ones,
Right.
You know?
I don't think he really had a name
No.
for them
At that
because
point,
at that
yeah.
point
I
we
like
weren't-
hex crystals.
We
That
hadn't
sounds
met
good.
him.
Yeah.
You know, because starting from the beginning is him and his mother. They were almost killed.
yes, yeah, I
Yeah.
got you.
Yes, and what happened was there was a civil war between like people who wielded magic, and they almost destroyed the world. Right, so they ended up getting to a point where magic was lost, so they rebuilt this city. Okay, now his name is, it's not Victor, it's the other guy. There's just so many characters in this. it's
Yeah,
hard to keep
I
up.
do not
Jace.
remember a lot of them.
Jace.
Jace
Yeah.
and his mother had been attacked early on in his life, and they were saved by a magic wielding wizard. We don't know who that guy is,
Yeah.
you know, but he saved Jace at the last minute and gave Jace his crystal that we still don't know what that is. All right, so these things were just never referenced.
Yeah.
It just happened. Okay, so these things might be addressed later on, but then we fast forward to the future, and he had this crystal, and he's been working with that crystal to try to recreate magic
Yep.
that has been restricted in this new city that's been built.
Right.
Because
he's trying to
he's-
use it to like help people.
Right,
you know,
right,
yeah,
right.
Improve
He sees the good in it.
lives, Yeah.
Yeah.
Improve the lives of
'Cause it
not
saved
just
him.
the people on what is it, Overbuilt or whatever. Anyways, the city on top,
Yeah.
but also
It's
the
Elysium.
people. Yeah, it's Elysium.
Right.
And then all the people who live in like the slums. And,
Yeah.
you know, he's trying to help everybody,
Yeah.
but you know. Later in the show, when they do approve it, it's just like, oh, it's really just improving the lives of the people on top.
Of
And,
course. Yeah.
And actually,
It's
yeah.
trickle down technology.
Yeah,
Scott.
exactly. It
It's-
trickles
it'll-
all the
it'll-
problem with that
Right.
is all the bullshit is all that
That's
trickles
what
down.
trickles down.
Well, exactly, which is why anytime people from the upper land go down into the underworld, like it smells like shit, so they always put on like gas masks and all these kind of things, you know, so they don't have to smell all the bullshit that they've been dropping down there for so long.
Oh, I thought they just wore scary masks because they were fascists.
That's probably
That's probably part of it.
Yeah,
too.
probably part of it as well. You know,
I'm like, what's
but-
up, Hellgast?
Right.
Rolling in.
So Vi and Powder and all the kids, they're from the like slums,
Yes.
you know, and while they're trying to plunder this guy's lab, Powder accidentally drops one of the rocks, which is a bad thing because a big explosion happens.
Because basically it's a magic
Well,
grenade.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, all right, it's hard to tell this story in
Hard to
They
continuity
skip around
because
with the
there,
time.
there's a lot that goes on, right? And
Yeah.
so, okay, so what happened was, what's the name of the kid? Echo.
Echo.
Echo actually, as a child, ended up selling Jace all these because Jace was not supposed to do research into magic at all, right?
Oh yeah.
And so he couldn't get equipment, right? So he had to go down into the underworld to get equipment on the black market, and he bought this stuff from Echo. All right, Echo would sell it to him. Jace would go back up, try to do his research. Echo, because Echo is also poor like these other kids, would go to the kids and be like, "Hey, man, this guy bought all this shit, and I know where he lives."
Yeah.
Right. So they all got together to go and rob him because they just wanted to get some stuff so they can trade and get money.
But they didn't really know who this guy
But then,
was.
exactly, they didn't know who he was. They didn't know anything about his research. But when they go in there and they're looting the place, Powder ends up kind of walking off and goes into his bedroom and finds these glowing crystals.
Yeah.
And so she takes those because, I mean, they clearly
They're
have
pretty.
value, right?
Yeah.
They're really pretty, yeah. And so while they're sitting there looting the place, all of a sudden, Jace comes back home. And so when he comes home, they all start panicking, and they're like, "Hey, we gotta
shoves
get
that
out of
door
here."
up or the chair up
Yeah,
against the
that's
door.
Milo. Milo shoves
Oh,
that.
Milo does
yeah,
it?
Milo
Oh,
does
yeah.
that. He puts the chair up against the door, keeps him from coming in. Jason's trying to burst down the door, and you got Powder in the bedroom. So like, Powder, come on, pull Powder out. Powder accidentally drops one of those glowing gems.
Yeah.
Motherfucker detonates.
Yeah.
Levels that floor pretty much.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Oh, levels that whole side of the building.
seriously,
That thing
yeah.
just collapsed.
Dude,
you know,
it looks
so they
so pretty when it
it-
falls.
oh, it's so
It
good.
looks so good.
And so they barely make it out and make it back to the Undercity. But that ends up triggering almost like an
it's
investigation.
the inciting incident.
Right,
It's the
exactly.
it's
Because they think it's a
where-
terrorist
yeah,
attack.
Exactly.
You know, like nobody knows that he has these gems or the power of them.
Or even they spin it as a terrorist attack.
Right,
So-
right.
So then two things happen at once,
Mm-hmm.
right? So the one thing is all the kids go back down to their side of town and try to sneak into what's that guy's name?
Where the last drop?
The last drop.
The
Yeah.
last
What's the guy's name? The
guy who took care of them.
Yeah, with the English accent that found them when they were
Vander.
Vander.
I
So they
like
try
that
to
dude.
sneak in past Vander because they don't want him to know what they just
Right, because
did.
he essentially takes care of them.
Exactly.
Right.
yeah,
Well, he ends
yeah.
up adopting all of those little kids
Right.
because
Uh-huh.
Vander was part of the group that was there was a
The
big
resistance,
civil war.
basically.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there was a big civil war that led to a bridge being built between the undercity and the upper city so that people could still from the undercity could go to the upper city and buy things and exist with those people and not just
Right.
be separate from them. But Vander ended up taking in these kids who, Vi and Powder, their parents were killed in that battle. Clagger and old Milo, god damn, there's so many characters. They also were taken in by him as well.
Yeah.
He had a partner at that point in time before, he took on those kids named Silco, and he and Silco fought in the Civil War
What a
together, but they
magnificent
ended up.
bastard.
Yeah,
he
really.
is
Like,
that.
he
Yeah.
is absolutely a magnificent bastard.
He does drugs in his eye.
Yeah.
God, there's so much to talk about.
He's got that red eye.
Yeah, got that red eye, boy. But so Vander is, just big hulking brute. He's got these giant mechanical fists.
Yeah, totally.
They they beat the fuck out of people with. I mean, he's amazing. But
Cast
he did,
iron pistons.
right?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
fuck, dude.
And so he took on these kids, and so they all go back to his bar, which is called the Last Drop. It's also pretty much he's the leader of the Undercity.
Yeah, yeah.
So
yeah.
Yeah, a
he's-
very respected figure within it. Yeah.
Yes,
almost,
and
yeah.
the kids don't understand that they're not really as repressed as they think they are. There's actually an agreement made between the upper city and the lower city
right.
to give
To
the
keep the
lower
status
city
quo, man.
exactly. Like,
Yeah.
lower city, y'all have sovereignty
Uh-huh.
of yourselves, and so as long as you don't cross these lines, then
Right.
everything will be fine. However, with them doing this thing and causing this explosion, creating this terrorist attack, that has crossed the line. So all of a sudden, it's like, okay, well, we're gonna come down there. And people from the above city, we need to get the names of these places.
Somebody, and they're pretty much just like somebody has to pay for this.
Right.
Right.
And
You're
so
gonna
turn
have
over
to
the
give
little
us a
girl.
name.
Right.
Yeah.
And he won't do it.
And he won't do it.
He's
yeah.
gonna turn himself in
Right.
instead.
And they're like, well, hey, do you know what that means? I mean,
Yeah.
it's a big deal.
It's not gonna be
know?
good.
But what's the other little boy? The
Echo?
Echo.
That's Echo? Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
So Echo ends up hearing the conversation between this one of the, I guess she's like,
Captain.
She's the
of
captain of the
guard
guard.
That's a good
Yeah,
way to
exactly.
yeah, okay,
yes.
yeah. And Vander,
Yeah.
basically them discussing the terms of this
Yeah.
agreement, and this is the first time that pretty much anybody else has heard that there's actually a agreement between the two of them.
Right.
So he goes and talks to Vi and them about this.
They
But-
feel
And they
betrayed.
think that he's
yeah.
a traitor.
Right. When he's actually the only one keeping the fucking peace.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And
Because Silco has also gone off and formed his own
Mhm.
group.
Right.
He's
who's-
kind of working in the like organized crime.
Right. Well, I
like,
mean, he
kinda-
makes
he's a-
drugs.
He's a
Yeah,
and
he's
he
a-
fucking
he's
yeah.
a kingpin
Yeah,
essentially.
and
Yeah.
got
You
everybody
know,
hooked on
But
it.
he's also trying to fight for the independence of like that the
Yeah, at the same it's a weird one
It's a
because
weird- yeah.
he's a bad guy that has the intentions of rising up.
It's one of
but
those things where it's just like good intentions but bad methods.
real bad
kind of
methods.
thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So it's like sympathetic
Yeah.
villain
Right.
kind
Well,
of thing.
yeah.
Yeah, and he was also, because he was Vander's partner, something happened that they never told us about, and Vander ended up trying to kill him.
Yeah.
And so he tried to drown Silco, and Silco damn near died, but ended up surviving.
Right.
And when he survived, he saw that as a rebirth for himself, and he became the nightmare that
Yeah.
he turned out to be.
Right.
Mhm.
And so that whole time, Silco was still aiming to get vengeance on Vander for killing him
Yeah,
and thus
yeah.
betraying him, because he really looked up to Vander.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Vander ended up, for whatever reason, being like, "You gotta die."
Yeah.
And so so he came back, and so Vander's almost hit with a dual staged assault, one coming from the upper city and one coming from Silco and his crew. Because while all this shit is coming down on them from the upper city, while all this heat is coming down, because they end up sending in all those guards and everything to the undercity, and they're like, somebody has to pay for this, and they're not going to turn over Vi, they're not going to turn over Powder, and he volunteers himself.
So they
Then
come to
all
arrest
of a
him.
sudden,
Yeah.
right, they come to arrest him, and Silco attacks.
With his G virus monsters.
Yeah,
Bro,
yeah, that's another
Jesus.
thing is he's developing a drug that literally
The
turns
shimmer.
people
Yeah.
into
Oh, yeah.
fucking Mr. Hyde.
Yeah.
Right.
Essentially,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
totally.
it's very
Uh-huh.
much a Jekyll and Hyde kind of scenario.
Yeah.
They drink the shit and then they bulk out.
Yep.
You know?
So it's kind of like very much like the G virus. They basically use the energy from Hex Tech to make this drug called Shimmer, and that's what he's putting into his eye over and over. We don't know exactly why that is, but he's got to keep doing it. Whenever it comes to Shimmer, if you start taking it, eventually it starts to degrade your body and degrade
Right.
your mind.
Well, it's like his eye reminded me of his eye reminded me of that part from man,
Uh-huh.
damn it, what's the name of it? The Jared Leto and does a bunch of heroin. What's the name of the Requiem? Yeah, you remember,
okay.
you remember
I
that
was
part?
yeah,
You remember
it
that
was
part
very
in
Requiem.
where he has the rotten hole and he's still trying to and you're like,
Yeah.
hey, maybe stop putting
Dude,
it in there
when he
'cause
had to
his-
try to
his
do it
whole face is
himself,
fucked
and
up
it was just like,
Right.
he's all shaking and shit.
yeah.
And then Jinx is just like, God.
No,
The
we'll
first
get
time,
into-
right. The
We'll
first
get
time,
into it.
anyway. Okay.
Yeah. We'll
I
get into
know,
it.
I know,
So, but the kids find
Runeterra
out
is the
about
name
some
of the
shit.
city,
They
Runeterra.
decide to take action themselves.
Yeah.
And
because they think they're
Yeah.
helping.
And Powder is told flat out by Vi, because Powder and Vi are sisters,
Uh-huh.
and Vi in the group is just seen as a fuck up.
Yeah.
No,
You know?
Vi is seen as the
Oh, no,
leader.
no. Powder. What I mean is
Powder is always, no matter where Powder goes,
Calamity
calamity
ensues.
ensues, which
Yeah.
is why Milo says that she's like a jinx.
Yeah.
He's like, she's like a jinx. He's like, no matter what mission we bring her on, something goes terribly wrong. Every time. And Vi's like, no, well, she'll learn. She
She's
just has to
young.
figure it
Yeah.
out, right?
Yeah.
And so, like, when she's teaching her how to parkour and stuff,
Yeah,
and she's picking it up, but she's a little kid.
Right,
But
right.
she wants to help
She
so
wants
badly.
to help so
Yeah.
bad. But
Yeah.
Vi just flat out tells them when they go to onto the mission, because they're gonna go fuck
Rescue Vander.
They're gonna go rescue Vander,
Mhm.
and Powder's all like, "Oh, I want to go," and Vi's just like, "No, you have
Yeah.
to stay. It's too dangerous," and like makes
Uh-huh.
her stay. and then what is it?
That's when she remembers she
that's
has
when
the
she realizes
crystals,
well, that's when she realizes
she-
that's what caused it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
You know?
yeah, absolutely.
And
Because she like drops them on the ground and they start sparking a
They
little
start
bit.
sparking. She's like,
yeah.
"Oh, that's what caused the explosion."
And
Because
she's
they
like,
didn't
"Damn,
know what
that
it
was my
was
fault."
before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so she's like, "Oh, I'm gonna redeem myself. I'm gonna put a bunch of these and do a little
Because
monkey
one
thing."
thing about
Yeah.
Powder is that she always liked to try to make little bombs.
Yeah.
And they never work. You
Right.
know, she would always make them. She always makes them like these cute little characters.
Yeah.
And they would just never work. She's like, come on, I believe in you. You got to do it. But they would never work and never save the day. And she would always try so hard. She really, really would. But she ended up making one with that glowing
With this-
gem.
yeah.
With that jewel.
And it worked.
And it worked. And so, and
It
all of
worked.
this happened when they were going to get Vander. They were actually winning.
They were
Yeah.
winning.
They
Yeah.
went. They got Vander. They
Yeah.
got him. They were getting him out.
Uh-huh.
You know, Clagger was still doing work.
Clagger
Milo was still.
breaking a hole in the wall.
Yes.
And he had just gotten that hole open.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know,
Vi
and they
started
were
boxing
about
on
to fucking
Uh-huh.
leave.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Boy, they
Oh,
were
dude,
doing
that
work.
was hot.
And then, oh my
Vi
God,
likes
every
to
time,
shoryuken,
dude,
doesn't she?
Every time she started
Dude,
fighting,
these
man, she put
motherfuckers
those
throw
hands up
down
and it's
Yeah.
like, let's go,
goddamn
bud.
Yeah, dude.
Like every fight scene's just like, ooh, ooh.
Yeah. 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 Uh-huh.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Ugh,
and
so
so,
hot.
but Powder shows up late to the party and she's like, okay, well, I'm going to help out.
Yeah, and she
puts in
doesn't-
one of her bombs. She doesn't know what's going on.
No.
But that bomb goes off and thusly ends up killing Clagger. It kills
Killing-
Milo.
Yeah.
It
It-
collapses that entire fucking
Right.
building.
Yeah.
It
you know?
completely disorients Vi in the middle of her fight.
Right,
Yeah, she-
and then you got Vander who's out there, you know, fighting,
Uh-huh.
and it distracts him as well,
Yeah.
and gives I want to say Kelso, that's funny. What's the dude's name? The bad guy?
G-thing?
Selko.
Yeah,
Selko.
Yeah,
yeah.
it gives Selko the opportunity to come up behind Vander,
Uh-huh.
and he stabs him in the back.
Yeah.
Right. So stabs him in the back, throws him off of this bridge,
Mm-hmm.
and so he falls to his death. And ends up, because he's about to kill Vi as well,
Mm-hmm.
it ends up that because Selko had been moving so much shimmer, a lot of that shimmer fell down along with Vander.
Mm-hmm.
Vander pumps himself full of shimmer and comes up like a raging beast, right?
Yeah.
Turns
And
into a
starts-
fucking
starts
monster.
fucking
Yeah.
shit up, you know,
Yeah.
just, I mean, it's incredible. So he starts fucking shit up, gets back up there, and, you know, manages to get Selko before
Well, there's
he
that
kills Vi.
there's that moment right there where like he's looking at Silco and he's looking at Vi, and you could tell that like the human side of him is still going like, hey, you know, that's your friend.
Yeah,
you
right.
need to
'Cause,
save
I mean,
her.
it
But then he's
doesn't-
like, but I gotta fucking
gotta
kill
fucking
him.
kill
and
him.
he chooses her. He
Yeah.
chooses her, man. He
Yeah.
goes over and saves her first, puts
Uh-huh.
her outside, and then comes back in to whip that ass.
Exactly, exactly, and ends up dying.
Ends up
Yeah.
dying.
And then, of course, Powder pops out,
And this
and
is the
Vi.
most heartbreaking fucking thing that happens in the entire fucking show. Oh
It
my
hurts.
God, it hurts.
It
Powder
hurts.
Powder really thinks she helped.
She
Yeah,
thinks she helped.
she
She's like,
showed up.
I did it. I did it.
Uh-huh.
I helped. I did a good
And
job.
My
and the
bomb
funny thing-
worked.
My
my
bomb
bomb
worked.
and
Yeah.
Vi had no clue what had even
What
happened.
had even happened
But
until
then once
she
she
saw
found
it,
out,
yeah.
then she's just like, God damn, like you just killed everybody, like,
Uh-huh.
and she slaps her in the face. She hits her. She's
Dude,
like,
she
boom.
fucking full on punches her.
Dude,
Yeah,
yeah,
dude.
She decks her, dude.
Yeah.
And so she's just like, boom. She's like, you are like you're a fucking jinx, like you're a
Yeah.
failure, you know, and ends up leaving her behind.
and that ends
and
up
so
like really scarring Powder.
Right. Well,
Like,
the
yeah.
thing about it was
She
is that she
abandons
ended
her.
up. Well, she kind of. She walks away.
She gets
and she's
angry,
getting
she
angry,
runs away,
but then she
yeah.
comes back for
She
Powder.
was going to come back, but then she got
but
Arrested.
she got chloroformed.
Yeah.
Exactly. So Powder ends up by herself, and she's crying, and she's like, you know, because Powder still doesn't understand everything that happened. All she knows is that she did good, and her sister's mad at her and left her. And every time she tries to do well, it fails, and she doesn't know why. So she felt abandoned, and so next thing you know, Selko ends up finding her, and you know, in her moment of vulnerability, she ends up going with Selko. Now, Vi ended up seeing this moment, and she's
or
walking
seeing
towards
that
her.
Selko like was around
her.
Yeah,
Exactly.
She didn't see the whole moment.
Well, yeah, where he like ends up hugging
yeah,
her.
where Powder ends up like hugging, like
But basically
embracing him,
Right.
and then you know, basically like she gets Vi gets chloroformed, taken away and arrested
to a prison.
and you know, Selko for one reason or another, just decides to embrace this young
Well,
girl
Selko's-
Which
breaking
gives you
out.
that little
Selko's-
bit of human in
But you
him.
gotta understand
you know
that
what I mean?
Selko's been doing this for a while.
Right.
Because you remember the girl that
The one with the mechanical arm?
Yes, yes, because her arm got blown off by that
Yeah.
same detonation.
Uh-huh.
You know, and all
Yeah.
these people ended up leaving from Vander's group to
Uh-huh.
go join Selko
Yep.
Yeah.
because Selko was actually doing things.
Right.
Everything that Vander was doing was more diplomatic.
Mhm.
You know,
And
whereas-
behind the scenes.
And
He
behind
wasn't
the
being
scenes.
transparent with
yeah,
everybody.
like people just didn't know.
Yeah.
You know,
I
and
really
so-
think that if he had told more people about what was going on,
right.
then I don't know, man. It would have
Bro,
been both sides of
you
the
know who
right?
he is.
Yeah.
You
yeah.
know who he is. This
Yeah.
he is. It's the same thing with Ned Stark, dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
He is
Mhm.
Ned Stark. You know
Mhm.
what I'm saying? He's the quiet, honorable leader
Mhm.
who is also a fucking beast.
Yeah.
But he retired his fists. He's like, I don't
Right.
want to have to use these anymore. We're gonna make a way forward in a different way.
But he
And-
would rather be honorable than be in the right.
right. Exactly.
It's hard to
Exactly.
weigh those two
Well,
things.
usually that means that you're dead, right?
Right.
Yeah.
You
Uh-huh.
know, and that's
Yeah.
exactly what happened. And so Vi ends up being taken off to the prison,
Mm-hmm.
and Powder ends up going with Selko.
Right.
And then we get our time
Then we
skip.
get our time skip. When you come back, Powder's Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's mad.
Mhm.
She is. She's batshit insane.
She's
cracked.
starting. Yeah. She's
She
got
was-
one crack.
By
in her
that
at this
point, well, I
No.
mean, I guess
she got
comparatively,
one crack. In
I
her
don't think
comparatively.
comparatively. Okay,
Comparatively,
all right, that's fair.
She continues to crack
Oh,
throughout the rest of
God.
the series, and it
Ugh.
kind of hurts every time
I mean,
you see it.
she's
Yeah.
still
It's
pretty
like- it's
fucking
like,
crazy when we see her
no.
again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because she
You
was
know?
already
She
felt abandoned
remade
by
all of her
sister.
friends.
Uh-huh.
Right. Well, once again,
Well, she's kind of being haunted
she-
by it.
right,
'Cause
she
it's not
made
like she
dolls
didn't.
of them.
They didn't go away.
Right.
Yeah.
She still
Yeah.
hears their voices, but she doesn't know that she was the one that killed them. Even at that point.
I think she does realize
no,
it.
she
'Cause
realizes
there's a
that
moment.
later.
Well, there's a moment when she sees
It happens
like
like episode
all of,
full,
like in
5 or
episode
6.
3 when she comes out and she's just like, I did good, and she sees Vi's reaction and then sees all her destruction, and she actually sees a couple of bodies, and that's
that
when
wasn't
she
till later. What she saw, like from those guys at that point, was just them and all the things they said about her echoing in her mind.
Mm.
So her being like a jinx, and her being, always a liability or a problem.
Right.
Everything she's trying to make, they're like shitting on her the whole time.
Yeah.
You know, that's what she remembered. She didn't find out about her killing them until almost the end of the series. Yeah, she had no idea that she killed them until I think it was like episode 6 or 7.
I don't know. The reaction that she had in episode 3 made me think that even though she might not have processed it, she did realize it. So maybe it was like one of those things that just kind of got blocked out.
Right. She didn't know
You
that
know?
she actually caused them to die. She just knew that they did die.
Yeah.
But Silco, god damn these weird names. He didn't tell her anything about that.
No,
He didn't
'cause
even
he
tell
was
her
grooming
much
her.
about right? He didn't say much about her sister other than she was
Yeah,
abandoned.
he just told her
Yeah.
what
You know,
she
that's
wanted
it.
to hear.
Yeah, and so but he never once said like, yeah, you killed your friends.
Well, of course not.
You
How-
know?
no, you can't
you know?
do that.
And
She,
so-
again, he's manipulating her in a way.
Yeah, because it
you know,
wasn't
the
until
whole
she
time.
went back down there into that area, and then she ended up seeing like the goggles. She ended up seeing like all this stuff. That's what let her
when
know
she
that
went back
oh,
down
fuck.
there.
Yeah, she went back down there, and she was like,
yeah.
"Oh shit!" Like I killed them. Like that was
Uh-huh.
me, And then it started landing, but then she starts to spiral and scream because I'm
Yeah.
telling you, whenever you get those moments like where you're getting glimpses into her head. Like the show becomes like horrific. It descends into horror,
Yeah.
and like a lot of the imagery that you get, like those weird sketches, like all over the place, like it really gives you just an idea of madness. Like she is just broken in there, and I mean, what are you gonna do? Like
Yeah.
how especially when you have somebody who because Silco really did love her.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
He is,
Towards
while
the
he's-
end, you like really feel that. From
Yeah.
him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
That
know,
is-
like,
I
he
think when
treated
that
her like his
happened,
daughter.
I
Yeah.
really think when that happened and he saw, I think he saw himself in her when he found her broken. He was like,
Right.
"Oh, I was there.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. maybe I can actually get you out of this hole. But
Right.
he can't.
No,
Nobody
Exactly.
can get her out
Well,
of
it's
that
like
hole.
I can
Yeah.
get you out of this hole in my way.
Yeah.
I
You
don't
let her
even know if
become
it
someone
was.
else.
I don't
Exactly.
even know if it was an idea of like I'm gonna help you get out of this hole. It was more of a I'm gonna help focus this hole for you.
Man, I
You
really
know,
think
I'm going
it
to-
was
I'm
a lot
going to
more
help you
compassionate.
learn how
I
to
think it was too.
deal with this hole.
But I don't think you
know?
realized that it was compassionate until towards the end of the season.
Right.
You know,
Because he's just still a bastard.
because he's a bastard
Right.
at that
Yeah.
point,
Exactly.
and these other people defected to be on his team, and then he gets himself a powder,
Yeah.
you know, and it's like, oh
Uh-huh.
God, what's he gonna do with this little girl? And then it turned out that like he really was raising her like a daughter,
Mm-hmm.
you know, while his views are fucked up because
Yeah.
he also ends up taking over the last drop, so that ends up becoming his base of operations.
Yeah.
And he just raises her like his own, and to the chagrin of a lot of the people that work for him, because they're just like, Powder is still running around fucking shit up.
Still a
'Cause
jinx.
Yeah, right.
Well-
That's what she changes
Well,
her persona
but in
to.
a lot of it is just like it's not even accidentally fucking shit.
No,
up.
she's a wild
just
card at this
being
point.
a wild card
Right.
at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they show like on the airship, you know, where she shows up with
Supposed to
that
be
fucking
protecting
Gatling
the
gun.
cargo, and then she just sets everything on fire and just shoots.
She starts
everybody.
going crazy. Yeah, man, because she thinks that one of the raiders is her sister. You know, so she thought Violet was with them. And can we talk for a minute about those hoverboards?
Oh,
Those
yeah.
are the
those-
best
those are cool.
hoverboards that
Those are
I've,
cool as hell.
I've ever
Those are
seen.
good.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the maneuvers that they're doing,
Oh,
they're
yeah.
just so creative. You know, even in like a confined space.
Yep.
It's like, how the fuck are you riding that thing? You
Yeah.
know? But she thought that Violet was with them, and so she freaks out and just starts pumping bullets into everything, just shredding the place up.
Yeah, because Vi's her trigger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
You know?
If she thinks about or even sees something that looks or reminds her of Vi, it just snaps. Something snaps. A
Yeah.
switch gets flipped. You know.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But Vi is in prison, and she's been in prison throughout this entire like time skip. And she was already a badass,
Right.
But now she's just a hardened badass.
Yeah,
and
'cause
I
they've
just,
been beating her consistently.
Oh
like-
well, that's the thing. Yeah, she's been beating her. She's obviously had to fight to survive in this environment.
Right.
You know, which has just hardened her. But she's still got that sass.
Uh-huh.
Dude, I love all her one-liners.
Oh, yeah.
Anytime
Oh.
she comes back at somebody, it's just like, ooh,
Uh-huh. And
that's
then
my
when
girl.
Spice on
yeah,
it.
and like when the Inquisitor girl came down and she was
Yeah.
like trying to get her out, and then the warden was like,
Kate.
"Oh, do we need to you know go and give
When
her
you
some
go talk
discipline?
to
You
her,
go
and he
talk
like
to
brings
her?"
out that big
Yeah.
fucking bat. or
Yeah, I was
whatever.
like, how many times have you talked to her? You know.
Every day.
Uh-huh.
Have to have a conversation with her every single day.
Dude,
God.
and when we see when Vi comes back, boy,
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
oh boy,
Uh-huh.
oh boy, she is back with a vengeance.
Yeah.
You know, and of course she wonders where her sister is, but doesn't have an idea, and doesn't have an idea
Well,
that.
she thinks her sister's dead.
Yeah, she thought
Yeah.
she was dead, but then
She
she
was
thought
dead.
that maybe she was kidnapped by
Or
Silco, but then it was
yeah,
like,
and being held prisoner or
right.
some shit.
So it was
or
like, I gotta save her.
And then when she finds out that, oh no, Powder's actually going around and doing, oh, it must be Silco making her do shit, you know,
Uh-huh.
and stuff like that. So it's this progression of denial.
Well, and it's
Right.
also
happens
that the
with her,
Inquisitor
yeah.
girl is looking for Jinx,
And she
and
doesn't know
Vi
that
only
Jinx
knows her
is
as Powder.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So then when they end up coming upon Jinx, then she's like, she's your fucking sister.
right.
Yeah.
Like, whoa, hey, we can figure this out. We can
Uh-huh.
talk about this.
Yeah.
And then Jinx is like, you just betrayed me.
right,
You know, you brought the
everybody else is
cops
like-
down here.
Like, we can't trust Jinx. Like,
Right.
we need to make
Uh-huh.
her pay like immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Vi's like, no, give us a chance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then somebody fucks up, and Jinx thinks that Vi is betraying her and leading her into a trap because she's working with, the guard from the upper city.
Yeah.
From Runeterra. And
It's
so,
a tragedy of misunderstandings, man.
yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So is that almost the end of the second act?
the end of the second act?
I think by the time that
that's when Vi finds out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that-
and the Inquisitor girl goes back up to report
yeah,
her
with
findings.
Vi.
Yeah, because Vi takes her down to the slums, takes her
Right.
to the little the whorehouse.
And they fall in
and
love.
eating the food
Uh-huh.
and everything.
Oh,
I
yeah.
love it. I love it when she's sitting there snacking and she's like, "We didn't come down here so that you could fill your belly." And then she's like, whatever. And then she gets the
Yeah.
information from him and gives her this look like, "The fuck did you think I was doing?"
Yeah, because she told her, she was like, okay. She's like, well, what do you want me to do? She's like,
Yeah.
blend in, and walks off and leaves her.
Yep.
And so, she keeps trying to talk to guys and nobody wants to talk to her. Then she finds a girl.
Yep.
And then it's just like, oh.
Yeah. There you go.
Okay.
Yep.
And so.
See, I actually thought that the Inquisitor and Vi had a thing going on, but they didn't
yeah.
really dig into it.
Right.
But
It was
they
kind
started
of
to
on the
have it
surface.
for
It
a
was
second
the
there.
big- it
Right.
was-
And I was
it
like,
was-
hey.
It was
And then
the start of
Uh-huh.
something that could bloom into something
Right.
else, but it
Yeah.
didn't.
It's called a
They
cupcake.
didn't.
Cupcake.
Cupcake,
Yeah.
Cupcake.
Yeah, uh-huh.
Absolutely.
Which
I
is
love
the
that.
symbol of her family. That's
a
why you see
cupcake?
cupcakes. Yeah.
I
Whatever.
didn't realize that.
Yeah, that's a thing.
That's their standard as a cupcake.
Yeah, that's why outside of
And that's
Jace's
why
apartment.
that's why Jinx makes a cupcake.
Dude.
Yeah. And outside of Jason's apartment, like when they first broke in, you'll
Yeah.
see cupcakes.
Yeah, totally.
Because that's actually
Yeah.
who he was walking back to his room with.
Uh-huh.
He was going to show her the research.
Well, because
you
her
know?
parents are his patrons.
Yes.
Yeah, because I
And
guess
her mom's on the council.
On the
or
council.
some shit.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, but that's when the story kind of switches focus and we focus more on Jace.
Right.
And his rise to power.
Yeah.
Because he ends up working with a gentleman named Victor.
Yeah.
Who came from the lower city. He's from there, but he worked his way up through, the ranks, and
He's
now
got a
he's
bum leg.
working close to
Yeah.
the council. Exactly. He walks with a cane. But they're both scientists, and both of them believe in magic and bringing magic back to the current world.
So let's talk about that. What's the name of the guy, the little short, fuzzy fellow?
What's his name? Like Heidinger?
Yeah,
Yeah.
something like that. Yeah, something German and cute.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's something.
But he's kind of their biggest opposition.
Well, because when
Well,
this
he's
thing
like
blows
300
up,
years old, and he's seen
seen
what
magic.
saw the
happens.
battle.
Yeah.
Right.
He actually saw,
Uh-huh.
magic almost obliterate all life.
exactly.
You
Yeah.
know, so he saw that. So he doesn't want.
Yeah, and
people
it's
to
not
fall
like
into the
he's
same trap.
100% against it. He just keeps telling them, "Look, you need more time."
Well,
You
but
really
before
need
any
to-
of that,
yeah.
old Helmdinger comes.
Humdinger. Oh,
Humdinger. Humdinger comes in because the once the explosion.
Heimerdinger.
Heimerdinger. Okay, we were close.
I'm still calling him
There's a
Humdinger.
lot.
Humdinger.
Hail
Humdinger.
Humdinger.
Love
He's
that
looking
shit.
at the aftermath
It's
of
good.
the explosion initially that Jinx caused, and
Yes.
that's when they investigate Jace, him having these, secret projects that he's been working on, and then they confiscate everything and put it in a vault. And at that point, that's when what's his name? Victor. When Victor, he's watching them lock all this stuff away, and he sees his journal, and he's like. Well, let me just
look at
let me check his
that.
notes.
What are
I
you
mean,
working on?
maybe he's with something,
there
right?
might
He's
be
got an
something,
idea.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so when he starts looking through it, he starts realizing, like, no, these theories make fucking sense. Like, this really makes a lot of sense. Maybe I can go talk to him. Maybe we can figure this out.
Right.
Yeah.
And then that's when he joins with him to try to figure that out. And then that's
going around Heimerdinger's back.
Right.
He's just like, okay, well, maybe this might work.
because they break
know?
into the academy at night and start using their equipment to try to perfect this thing so that they can have a presentation to show the council.
Exactly.
Because the way that both of them see it is they're like, well, shit, you're already kicked out, dude, and I'm already fucked. So why don't we might as well just try it,
fuck
yeah,
it,
because the math's right. So let's figure it out,
And the
and they
shit
do,
works.
and it works.
Yeah.
And then they're floating around in a room, and all of a sudden Heimerdinger comes in. He's like, get down.
God,
And they're like,
the
we don't know how.
Like, yeah, for real, look at this. This is sweet.
Right,
You
right.
know?
And so at that point, that's when who's the girl
Yeah, we're
that's
getting there.
yeah,
Oh God, her badass.
dude, she's fucking
She is
awesome,
so
and her
bad.
mama.
Oh, mama.
Oh, mama.
Is her name? Is that Mel?
Yeah, Mel.
think
I think
Mel.
you're right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
her name is Mel.
yeah. So she ends up like coming in with Heimerdinger during this situation, and although Heimerdinger is immediately like, whoa, no, shut this shit down. She's going like, no, I see it. I see the potential
Yeah,
here, and I see what you guys are trying to get at. You need to push this harder.
Right.
And so collectively they all work it out with Heimerdinger and make it to where they can continue this research, and it's
They
going to
still kind of have to go through him.
right,
you
they have to
know?
go through
If
approvals
he tells
and all
them
this
to
stuff.
stop, then they have to stop.
Right.
Theoretically.
And he kind of keeps going like, well, looks good. I guess in a couple of decades you'll have it worked out.
Yeah.
And
They're
they're
like,
going,
no, it's ready now.
yeah, and we don't live for hundreds of years, Heimerdinger. We're
Exactly.
humans. We got to do this shit
And
now.
they're also building like different tools to use this technology, this hex tech.
Uh-huh.
Like
I can't believe I
tools for
didn't-
drilling.
I can't
Yeah.
believe I
You know,
didn't
they
see
had
the
to,
That are
like,
gloves.
just big robot
hands.
You
Like,
need
yeah,
big
this is
robot
for
hands.
drilling.
I agree with
for
And
that.
it's
drilling.
like, but Heimerdinger, you could tell immediately, it was like, no, those are weapons.
Those
cuz.
are weapons. You
Yeah.
just made
You
some
just made some
cestus.
pulverizers.
Right.
Yeah, for real, dude. Those are rock fuckers.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Why'd you make Beowulf? Why'd you do that?
I mean, it's hot. It's
Yeah.
hot, don't
Oh,
get
it's
me wrong,
hot.
but we're not quite there yet. And they're just like, oh, no, we are.
Yeah.
But then, of course, Jinx ends up getting her hands on one of the little
The refined magic. Yeah.
yes, and
Or Hextech, sorry.
Hextech, getting it down
Starts
to Selko.
incorporating that into her explosives and like.
Well, I think we're skipping forward a bit, aren't we? Like, because
Well, I
she
mean,
got
we've
it
kind of been
because
we're
it's
going back and
it's really
forth.
hard
very
to,
difficult.
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
very difficult. Because Jace ends up getting inducted into the council itself because they're
Right.
like the only person that can control this technology is you.
They need more
Well,
scientists, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well,
And so they put him on the council. Powder ends up staging an explosion that distracts everybody, and she actually manages to get one of the little Hextech crystals.
The refined crystals.
The refined crystals, and
Yeah.
gets it back to Selko.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so Selko was mad as fuck. He's like, dude, you're out there blowing shit up. I told you to stop. He sat her down. He was like, you're not going out on any missions or whatever.
He was about
She
to
went on
ground
own.
her.
Yeah.
He tried to ground her. She said, Said, I'm not grounded.
I mean, it's the same thing
I'm
that
gonna go
happened
both-
earlier, right?
Right.
It's same
That's-
shit.
She do. That's what she do, man.
She
was
shows up,
mad.
stuff blows up, you know.
She was
always-
mad because that's
Dude,
when
yeah.
she finds out that Vi's still alive.
She
Yeah.
overheard.
And she starts like stabbing him in the face with his like drugs.
Right,
and
because
shit,
she
like-
was the one who actually gave him the drug into his eye. He can't do it by himself you know?
Anymore, yeah.
Right, exactly. His hand's too shaky, and he has to hit right in his pupil. And so she always would, do the little pinprick for him.
Yeah.
But this time,
But
she found out that her sister was still there, and that he knew about it, and that he was keeping that information from her because he actually lied to her recently about the shit, and she gets the needle, and she's just like hitting him in the face.
Yeah. Why didn't you tell me she was alive? Ha! Ha!
Oh my god, it was so hot. And you think for a second, like, she might just 86 this dude.
Yeah. That's
You know?
really what I was thinking.
Yeah,
I
you know?
thought, well, we got the new leader right here. I guess,
Yeah.
Oh no. Well, but she wouldn't have taken over it.
No, she wouldn't have.
No, she would
she
have
would've
burned the
just
house down.
destroyed
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
She just would have burned it down.
You're
yeah.
right.
Yeah. And so, but yeah, man. So she ends up not forgiving him all the way.
Yeah.
But being like, okay, I'm still on your side, Selko.
Yeah. So then, is there another time skip?
Well, we
Because the
had
other one's
her,
a
I
lot
don't think
closer.
it's a time skip.
Yeah.
Right. I think a lot
No.
just happened in a short period.
There's
of
really
time.
just the time skip between 1 and 2, and then 2
Yeah.
and 3 are kind of just
Just a continuation.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And so at that point, where are we now? Jace is on the council.
Jace is on
He
the
starts,
council.
He starts fucking
Victor's-
old Mill.
Victor's dying.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
Victor's having a rough time.
Right.
But Victor continues doing the research on their advanced Hextech.
But Jace gets caught up
Jace is
in all the
Mel.
in Mel and
yeah.
in politics. He
Yeah.
gets
Yeah.
caught up in Mel and
I
politics
mean,
to the
his
point where
whole
he's almost not
story is
helping
way
anymore.
more of the political side of
Right.
the story.
Exactly.
That's the B. That's
Yeah.
the B plot
Mhm.
right there. Is okay. How does all this work as far as like a political and economic
Right.
system and stuff like that? And
Right,
But-
you
so
know,
that's
and
his
Mel
whole
is
thing.
just really kind of steering him.
Well, because
Yeah.
she's
This entire
been
thing.
curated her whole life to be the leader
Right.
of all of this. You know what I mean?
And then she got banished from her people
Right.
because she sympathized with their enemy.
right.
And her mother was not having that shit. So she's like, you get the fuck out.
Mhm.
And so she's like, okay, we're going to make a better world. And were they really?
You know.
You know, they really believed it.
They believed it. That's
they
it.
really believed it, but it wasn't the truth,
No.
you know? And so they end up, getting Jace on the council over time. Victor is doing all this experimentation, and
Man.
Victor ends up getting really overly involved with the
Well, he starts
Hextech.
experimenting on himself.
Exactly.
You
You
know?
know,
Because
well,
he
thought that
thinks
his
he's
blood-
gonna die. He really
Yeah.
thinks he's just about to die. So
Yeah.
he's like, well, I might as well try to fix this,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
And
like
he
I'm
starts
running out of time.
fucking carving symbols into himself and into
Uh-huh.
his brace and into all of his stuff.
Yeah.
Dude, that scene right there,
Yeah.
when because there's a character that I think they might show once or twice earlier, but
Yeah,
they really
you
don't.
Get a,
You
they
don't see
get a
her
lot
at
of
all.
Screen time.
But she's
Yeah.
basically an apprentice under Victor.
She's like an assistant.
Oh,
but she
man.
looks looks up to him as, you know, like
She loves him.
not only does she love him, but she also like very much respects his work and thinks he's
Absolutely.
just absolutely brilliant and thinks that, oh, we could be this team and we could do all this. And she walks in as he's
experimenting.
dude, as he's doing
well,
it.
as he's making a big breakthrough, like his blood interacts with the hex star, or whatever.
Hex
the fuck
star,
it is.
yeah, that's-
and it ends up creating a shockwave
Yeah.
that runs through his body.
Well, he also
and he's
Yeah.
reaching out for it, and she sees him trying to manipulate this power, and she thinks that there's a problem. So she's trying to pull him away from it, and he's so enraptured in this thing that he can't even tell she's there, and he's got his eyes
and
closed.
He notices
and then
that she's there,
and
he
that's
turns
when it
and
absorbs
looks.
right into him, and it turns her to fucking dust.
Yeah.
And he doesn't even realize it until afterwards.
Well,
when
no, he
see-
saw it happen.
And
yeah,
but-
he was
but dude,
looking. he
and-
was like, "What the fuck?" And then he looks at her because she's screaming.
But
and he
and
turns
the
and looks.
experiment didn't work.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it didn't heal him, man.
Right, and so she just died for nothing.
For nothing,
For
dude.
nothing, dude. And I mean that scene where it does turn her to ash. Oh, dude! Oh my God!
That's
it
the
got me.
second heart-wrenching moment.
Yes, yeah, it happens like that.
Yeah, dude.
You know, it's like, okay, maybe he's gonna turn into a monster and attack her. That's what I thought. I'm like, maybe he's gonna get mutated, and then something's gonna happen, and something terrible is gonna happen to her. Like, we
No,
just know that
He just wakes up as a
or
broken man
maybe-
with his friend turned into dust. And her
right,
clothes
or
strewn
maybe
around.
he'll see her and calm down. All these things could happen. No, that
Nope.
was it for her. That was a wrap.
Gone.
Gone.
That one's rough, dude. That one's rough.
Can't, man.
Yeah, they made me care about a character that I just met.
Yeah,
like, I was
yeah.
like-
Well,
That's some
I
Game
think
of Thrones
it was,
shit.
I
Really
think it was
is.
really smart because I mean, you do see her a couple of times, mostly in the background and mostly just
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
just kind of making
Yeah.
googly eyes at Victor. But like before she like sees him like experimenting, you see her like walking down and just like Victor. So
Well,
I've been working
having
on this
phantom
thing,
conversations
like
with
having
him.
a phantom
Yeah.
conversation, trying to figure out, okay, how can I get us alone and get us to work together and stuff like that. And it's really cute and it's endearing and it's
Yeah.
just like, oh, this poor girl, she has no idea what she's about to walk in on,
Right.
and you had no idea what she was about to walk in on.
Right.
But then when it happened, it's like, oh no.
Can't go back now.
Because it's hard to
Everything's
tell just
fucked.
how far gone Victor actually is.
Oh, yeah.
Even when Jace first meets him, he always seems like he's really hopeful and that he'll be a nice little crux for Jace, to keep him from going too far.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not the case.
No.
Victor's willing to sacrifice it all
Oh, yeah.
because he's living on borrowed time.
Well,
Right.
but he's willing to sacrifice himself. He doesn't want to sacrifice others.
Right,
Right.
exactly.
So there's
Yeah.
there's a big difference with that. It's not like he's like Silco there,
Right.
Which is who's willing to sacrifice anybody
just raw
in his
chaos.
path.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's
which-
that interesting parallel with that other scientist that's working with Silco,
Right.
doing almost the same thing.
Well,
Because
didn't
he and
Victor-
Silco used to work together. He and Victor also used to work together.
Right.
together, yeah.
Yeah, because he was
So-
underneath that guy, and then he saw him experimenting on that creature. I
Well, he
don't even know
created
what-
that creature,
Right.
but then he
It
was
was
like,
dying.
"You must protect the science."
Right.
And instead of trying to, keep that creature alive, which is initially what Victor was wanting, he was
Yeah.
like, I love this little creature.
Yeah.
And the researcher's like, nah, man, it's all about the
No,
science.
we're about to
Yeah.
hook this motherfucker up
Yeah.
to some tubes and
Oh.
extract all the science out of it.
We gotta-
Exactly.
he's
And so,
so
he
much
was
science.
the one who actually created Shimmer.
Yeah.
So he was the one who actually created the drug that Silco then ended up selling to all these different people and distributing.
That scene with the cat way
Oh,
earlier on, because that
uh-huh.
was like
Oh, yeah.
episode 2 or 3 or something that they
Right.
showed us. Yeah, where they were
That might have even
injecting.
been episode 1,
It might have been,
towards
yeah,
the end of
where they
episode 1.
injected the shimmer into a mouse, and then they put the cat in there, and
and
the
the
cat
mouse-
starts rolling up on the mouse, and then all of a
mouse
sudden the mouse starts
fucks
getting
him
big,
up.
Yeah.
and the cat's like, wow,
Uh-huh.
and starts
Yeah,
backing up,
it's over.
and you just see blood splatter all
Can
in
we
that
just
shit.
say honorable mention to
Yeah.
one character that doesn't really get much screen time but is super cool? That shopkeeper.
Totally,
Oh, yeah.
totally,
Dude,
that guy's awesome.
fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Like the crackhead comes and leads them to the place to get the shimmer because Vi ends up getting beaten to death.
Yep.
Or almost
She
dead.
gets stabbed.
Yeah, she got stabbed.
She's stabbed.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because that's when she was told about her sister.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Yes. And so they end up taking her and, getting her some shimmer.
Yeah.
But that character was just so imposing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
so
man.
imposing. And it was just the whole thing of just like, I'm not trying to talk to you.
Yeah,
I'm not
Yeah.
your fucking friend.
Yeah.
Tell me what you want.
Tell me what you want.
Uh-huh.
Pay me.
Pay me.
You
Get
know?
the fuck out of
Get
here.
the fuck out of
Yeah.
here. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so Vi ends up getting injected with Shimmer to save her. And, well, the shit worked.
Yeah.
You know, she ends up punching that motherfucking tower.
Yep.
She just punches that beam and brings the whole house down.
That was awesome.
Which is crazy. God, here's where it gets.
Yeah.
So,
So this is the
Vi
end
and-
chapter, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Vi and Chase. Or
Jace.
Jace. Vi and Jace end up teaming up to take on Silco.
Yep.
Because
And Jace
Tace-
brings the hammer.
Jace brings down
on
the hammer.
hammer. Oh boy, he puts it, boy.
Oh,
Ooh, that hammer work.
and that's when she gets her her big fists.
Yep. Gets her
and-
say
Oh no, she just takes them.
Yeah,
she
she
takes
does.
She's
them.
like, oh yeah,
These
these
are
are
obviously
mine.
for me,
I love
right?
it when she
Yeah.
extends
He's
it.
Oh,
totally.
Yeah.
Do we have a deal?
We got a
It's
deal,
like-
pretty boy.
Yeah.
You know.
Love it.
That's
That's
good.
my girl. I love her.
so sick.
So they end up like
Which is also a
getting
callback
getting
to
a
Vander.
kind of small
Oh,
army
yeah.
together, and
trying to
like,
raid
just-
Silco's
yeah,
Shimmer
just raids.
factory.
Yeah,
Which-
just raids the factory.
Which
yeah.
it seemed is it just a factory? Or is it also like a mine? Are they? It's just a factory. It's just where they
Just a
produce.
It's just a
it, right?
factory,
Okay,
yeah.
okay,
But it's
yeah.
the same place that was destroyed earlier.
Yeah, they just rebuilt it.
Yeah, that's the
yeah,
same place
absolutely.
that Powder destroyed, and
But
that's how she
it
discovers.
Turns
Dude, when
out
they're
that
back
it's
to back
all.
on that fucking bridge.
Oh, dude, yeah,
That was such a good segment.
yeah,
Firefly.
yeah, yeah, man.
Yeah,
all
because at that
those,
point in the future,
Big Daddies.
Echo is actually the leader of a group called the Fireflies.
Okay.
Oh
which
yeah,
are-
totally.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
that's kind of like the resistance. And he ends up taking on Powder.
Mhm.
He's like, okay, well, someone's gonna have to take her.
Well, because Echo ends up
meeting Vi.
Well,
Which-
taking Vi and the Inquisitor girl.
Yes.
Like he ends up like knocking them both out and taking them, and they don't know where
Yes.
the fuck they are, and they don't know, or Vi doesn't realize that's Echo,
Right.
Until all of a sudden, and like
They
they're talking
go
to each
and
other,
take her.
and she's in handcuffs, and then all of a sudden she's just like, "Oh, you're just the same as I remember."
Right.
He gives him a
Yeah,
hug, and he
exactly.
goes, "How long have you had those
Right,
handcuffs
because,
off?"
like,
It's
they
like, "How long you
pull
been
Vi out.
complaining?"
Yeah,
and
exactly.
the Inquisitor girl was just like, where are you taking her?
Yeah.
She's fighting. She's like, oh my god, what are they gonna do to her? But Vi is a bad motherfucker.
Vi's
Yeah.
bad,
And so right, so she
Yeah.
ends up chained up, and he's sitting there talking to her with his mask on,
Yeah.
and then come to find out it's actually Echo.
Yeah.
And Vi,
Vi immediately is like,
she's
"You're
like,
my buddy.
I
Come
love
on, what are you talking
Uh-huh.
about?"
And so he's trying to act all tough.
Yeah.
And then she's like,
He's like,
all right.
"No, but I'm a real man
Yeah.
now."
And she's like,
No.
all right, you done yet?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Come here, buddy. He's like, how long did you have those off? She's like, how long you been talking?
Yeah,
You know?
dude, that shit's real good.
good
And then
stuff.
when he pops in on the Inquisitor girl, and she starts being like, "Where have you taken Vi?
Uh-huh.
I'll do anything. You take me, don't take her." And then Vi
Vi
pops
walks
in,
in
and she's
and
like,
is
"Oh,
like, hey."
aren't you sweet?"
For real. It's like, every time with you. How many people do you know in the underworld? You know?
All of them.
All of them.
yeah.
Huh? I am the
Uh-huh.
underworld.
Man, but
But-
when they clash with Powder or Jinx
It's
on,
Jinx
on
at
the,
this
It's
point.
Jinx
yeah,
at that point.
on the bridge though, you know.
Dude.
Oh, I'm talking about
That
when they
fight-
were when
that
they were
fight's
fighting.
amazing.
Uh-huh.
dude.
Especially when
talking
he was
about-
finally like, game on, bitch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You
dude.
know?
Uh-huh.
Like,
I was talking about when they were fighting those big daddies.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah, wow,
yeah.
I kind of forgot about that.
Yeah.
dude,
Whoa.
that was a good.
Because you're
fight
talking about
scene.
like when the that shit was really weird because it seemed like there were a bunch of guys that were just in, like you said, like Big Daddy costumes or like Space
Yeah,
Marine outfits, something
Yeah.
along those lines, that were just on standby,
Right.
ready to get all shimmered up.
Uh-huh.
And then go into battle,
Yeah.
you know, because they're just kind of sitting there idly, and all of a sudden, all the shit starts pumping into their masks, and they're all waking
Uh-huh.
up,
and then
and
they go
yeah.
and they Hulk out, man. Yeah, that's a great scene,
But
and then
Vi
they
and
come in
Jace
on them.
are just fucking laying the
They're
Yeah.
laying it
down
down.
the law,
Laying the hammer down.
And he ends up laying that hammer down on a kid.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
You
Shoots
know?
a
That's when
kid.
Well, it was
shakes him.
mutated, but
Right.
then once it like reverts back to its original form, it's like, oh shit.
No, dude.
No, that
Wait,
was
no,
just
he
shot a
actually just
kid,
shot the kid.
which was on
Yeah,
accident.
yeah.
He was just lighting
He
him
was
up.
in the
Right,
moment, right?
yeah.
He was in the
Uh-huh.
moment,
Yeah.
and he ended up hitting the kid.
Yeah.
And that's when he's like, "Oh, I just realized what I just did because what is it? Mel tried to warn him about
Right,
that. He's
right.
just like,
Uh-huh.
we can't just go around just starting a fucking war.
Right.
You've never been in that. You don't know what it's like. This has to be our last resort."
I also like it how when
know?
Vi's talking to him about that, Vi's pretty much like, "Yeah, you killed a kid. Do you not realize that that's what this is about?
Yeah.
That's
Right.
what that's
Do
what
you
all
not
this
realize
is.
how many other kids have died from
From
what
exactly
you and
this?
the council
Yeah.
have been doing?
This is just the first
Yeah.
time that you're seeing
Our,
it. That's
your
all.
apathy, how many kids your apathy has killed at this point, and you're gonna be upset about this one
because the whole council, they never paid any attention to what was going on in the underworld at all.
Well, yeah,
all they
didn't have
wanted
to.
was they were just powerful families that were benefiting from this technological boost. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, so here's how we're gonna form this council. But none of them actually knew. Even Heimerdinger, he didn't know what was going on down there because they ended up voting him off of the council. Because he keeps being in the way of progress.
Right.
Yeah.
So they forced him to retire, and he actually goes back down into.
Man, when they vote him out, that one's kind of sad too.
That hurt.
That one's kind of
That
sad.
hurt. He is so expressive.
I know.
You
All
know
of
what
a
I'm
sudden, he
saying?
starts just. And
He's
his
just
little
like,
quivering mustache, and you're like,
and
oh,
he
buddy.
just raises his hand. He's like, guess I agree. He's like, I'll step down. And he goes down there and pulls off his, best Obi-Wan Kenobi.
I like that one old guy that's bald that just doesn't really pay attention to shit that's going on. He just votes with the crowd pretty much.
Yeah, totally.
They gave him that toy, and he's all like, "Oh, this is so cool."
All the while, like Selko also has his own council as well that are, this undercity mob group that's making money off of all the shimmer.
the mechanical armed lady is one of them, right? Isn't she on the
she's
council?
like an enforcer.
She's his,
Oh, yeah,
she's
okay,
his
yeah, I guess
She's like an
enforcer.
enforcer.
Yeah. And so that's why they try to get her, the guy with the mechanical jaw.
Oh,
tries
that
to
dude,
get, dude, what the fuck? He looks so slick.
I love him when he fucking takes his jacket off and puts him back on the floor, and he's
Yeah.
making him smell the Undercity. He's like, "You forgot what it smelled like, didn't you?
Yeah.
You forgot where you came from and what I've done for you. You don't have to
Exactly.
deal with this
Oh,
shit
dude,
anymore."
when they're sitting there planning a coup against Kelso, you know what I'm saying, or Selko. I keep wanting to say Kelso. Which takes me to, what was that show?
That
70s
show? That's exactly right.
Just
Yeah.
rips me right out of it. But whenever they go to, he's kind of the leader of this group, but they plan a coup. Soko's just like, God damn it. He catches wind of it, and he's like, fuck, I gotta go lay the hammer down. I gotta let him know who I am. And so he shows up. He schedules a meeting with them and gasses them
all of them.
And starts his monologue.
Yep.
As while they're all gasping for breath, starts his monologue and starts throwing everybody gas masks one by one until he gets to him. And you're just like, you motherfucker. And he's sitting there just holding it. And apparently he's immune to this gas. It doesn't even fucking matter.
Well, this whole time I've felt like he has like a Scarecrow vibe to him.
Totally.
You know what I mean? He's like if you took Kingpin and Scarecrow and mixed them together.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But that scene where, Metal Jaw's over there just gasping for air, and Selko's just like, I'm going to give this to you. And then he puts it on his face. And you're like, damn, he's going to let him die. He takes one good breath and then just throws it to him.
Right.
Right. Like, oh my God, this motherfucker's in control.
Yep.
And then he still aims to turn like the mechanical arm lady against Selko.
Yep.
He still tries to carry through with the coup. Yeah. And that doesn't go too well.
She ends up cutting him the fuck down.
Yeah, literally.
Apparently she has a blade in that.
Yeah, she's always working on her arm. Every time you see her,
she can fill it full of fucking
full of shimmer.
Could power up
Dude,
her
that fight
shimmer
between
engine
her
arm.
and Vi,
it's real good.
So fucking good. Vi punches a fucking table.
I think that's my favorite fight.
And then she cuts that fucking.
Yeah, that's my favorite fight out of it.
Yeah, that's a really good. Oh, and Vi gets her ass.
She gets her ass beat,
and
then
that's another
fucking
thing.
Vander shows up as a ghost.
Yeah.
He's like, you got to work on your movement there.
That's one thing that I really like about this. Nobody is invincible.
Right.
All of the fights have stakes.
I mean, yeah. Mel's invincible, but that's
a
different kind of invincible.
She's fighting a different battle.
Well, I don't know, because when her mom shows up, all of a sudden she's just like, God damn it, mama.
Yeah.
I know he's showing Jace her titties. I know she's showing him her titties right now. Like when she had all those little dudes that are like massaging her.
Oh, totally,
and shit. And she's just like the whole time taking a bath. Giantess, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Just
dude,
taking a bath, having her feet rubbed and everything.
Drinking her wine.
Yeah, dude. Just like, okay, well, I need you to help me, give me your technology, because we've got a war with the neighboring land, and they're going to fucking win.
Right.
Yeah. So I need your technology. And she's like, Mom, you cast me out.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Like, why am I supposed to help
so
you?
long ago.
What
are you talking
don't
about?
worry about that.
We're
Like,
good.
you're still in the family. How about come back, take your rightful place on the throne?
Right.
And but then it came to be, her mom's just like, well, the reason why I sent you away is because you weakened me. Every time I had to look at your face, it made the hard decisions harder for me to make. So I had to send you away, it's weird because that's very human, right?
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
okay,
Totally.
well, I'm the leader of this group, and so I've got to do the hard things, like if this person is a traitor, we can't just be like slap on the wrist,
Yeah.
give you the opportunity to do it again. We can't just banish you and wait for you to come back and attack us. You got to die,
Yeah.
And Mel's just like, no, well, she's young and she doesn't know any better. And Mama's like, and so after that, it's like, okay, well, you got to fucking go. You're banished, and I've got to run this show, And of course, she's probably forward thinking. We'll cross paths again at some point in time. But of course, for Mel, it's just like, no, man, like this is mine. And then Mama shows up. It's like, no, this is mine.
Damn it, Mom!
It's mine,
You screwed it
Mom.
all up.
And Mom's like, not for real. Nothing's yours.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so they ended up coming to a bit of an understanding. But you get to a point where Powder ends up pretty much capturing all of Selko's
All of
goods. Gets
them.
Selko captured, Vi's captured, mechanical
Kate.
armed guard. Yeah, Kate's captured.
Yeah.
She's got everything, and the whole thing is like,
And then
okay,
you get-
Vi, if you will kill Kate, then I'll come along.
Then
with
we
you.
can be sisters.
Then we can be
again.
sisters again, and you
I
can
love
have
it.
Powder. She had 2 chairs, one
yeah.
with Powder and one with. That is so fucking
That's
awesome.
good visual fucking storytelling.
Yes.
Is what that is.
Absolutely.
That's fucking.
Oh, it's really good. Yeah,
so
it's super good.
And
Yeah.
it's a little Mad Hatter type style table.
Because there's also
And-
the mannequin versions
of Milo.
yeah,
and Clagger.
yeah, they're there
Yeah,
too.
she keeps telling them,
Yeah.
Shut up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
dude.
I'm not talking to you right now.
Yeah.
So she is
Well,
at this point, Jinx is
We
just
skipped over the part
far
where
gone.
she died, or she was about to die.
Jinx, that was a really awesome scene. So Jinx ends up setting off when she's fighting Echo.
Yeah.
She ends up Echo was
Dude,
whooping that monkey
man,
ass, boy.
I don't know what
Echo was on it.
It's
That
like
was a
they,
good fight scene,
they-
too.
well, the initial part where he
Bro.
jumps at her
Uh-huh.
and she's shooting, and it's like they're kids.
Oh yeah,
And-
it's their
and-
kids and they're playing.
And then that
yeah.
song in the background, because
Yeah.
the soundtrack
Oh, yeah.
to Arcane is
it
killer.
hits a couple of times where you're like, well, that's
Yeah.
about perfect. isn't
Yeah, it
That's,
slaps,
yeah,
man.
uh-huh.
And but he wins the fight,
Yeah.
and he's over her, and he has the chance, but he sees
But
that
he-
flashback, and he
sees
hesitates.
he sees his old friend.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. He's like,
You
there's
know?
Powder,
Yeah.
That's
and
not Jinx,
Powder
that's Powder,
is
yeah.
very much Jinx, and sets off one of her bombs, point blank, and boom,
Blows up
damn
both
near.
of them motherfuckers.
And
And then
so-
Silco has to take her to the
Well, Silco
doctor.
finds her,
Yeah.
but she also got the crystal back.
Right.
So she actually had that for him, and he's just like, "What the fuck?" So he goes finds the doctor.
finds the doctor.
Yeah.
And this is really when you start kind of seeing his mask kind of crack, and where it's like, oh, he actually does care about her.
Right,
Yeah.
because the
Yeah.
doctor's down there. He's like, okay, well, I can do this operation and try to save her, but it's going to be rough. It's going to be painful. He's like, well, just do it.
And
And
he
the
has-
first
he
thing the
tranks
doc
her.
does
He
is
tranks
tranks
him.
him.
Tranks
He
him.
tranks
Well,
him
and he
'cause
asks
knows.
him, what lengths are you willing to go to?
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's just like, do whatever it takes. And so the first thing he does is tranks Selko because he knows that Selko is going to react.
Yeah.
He knows that once he sees what she's going through, because it was painful. It was an awful, excruciating, however long of a time it was. And he's like, he's not going to be able to handle this, so he knocks him the fuck out. And I mean that. And it's funny because, when you're watching it at first, you're like, oh, God, this guy's about to do something, horrible.
Yeah.
But at the same time, that was an act of mercy. He's like, you're not going to be able to handle watching this girl. He's like, I had a daughter once. He's like, I know what it's like to feel like your child is in pain. And so what he does is puts him out. He's like, now I can do the work that I need to do.
Yeah.
And that does. It brings her back, and she's a little bit more broken
Yeah.
for it. Yeah.
But no, that last scene at the table,
Dude, when Silco pulls the gun out.
Yeah.
Oh, and she instantly reacts to that
because
shit.
he's gonna kill Vi, and
gonna
she's
kill
like,
She's not having that.
Yeah.
no.
If anybody's gonna kill Vi, it's gonna be me,
gonna-
goddammit.
Absolutely.
It's gonna be
Can't be
Jinx,
me.
Yeah. Well,
You know?
and two, even after that, she has that heart-to-heart moment with him as he's dying.
Yeah.
Of course, that
that
seals-
solidifies Jinx.
That seals
Right.
the deal. That's
Right.
what actually
because he tells
Yeah.
her she thought that he was gonna turn her in
Yeah.
order to gain immunity for himself, and
Yeah, and all that other
actually
stuff.
form this other deal with the upper world of Runeterra. But he was like, I would have fought the war. I would never have turned on you,
Yeah.
and I would never abandon you. And she was just like, Well, she plops down to that Jinx chair. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
and
and that-
Vi's over there, and she's still
She's still
stuck.
tied up,
and
and-
Jinx gets up, and she goes, puts the hex crystal into a rocket launcher that she's built, and here's that divisive ending. Goes and shoots that rocket at the council, and they're all everybody's in the council room. They're all like celebrating. They're like, we're gonna take this deal, and everything's gonna be fine. And then, just like every other time, here comes Jinx.
Blowing it up.
Yeah,
Boom.
and blows the entire things up. Roll credits.
Yeah.
Roll credits.
Roll credits, and that's it. Yeah.
I thought that ending was brilliant.
I thought it was great, but again, I also had one of those moments where it's just like, well, that leaves a little something to be desired. I can see how this could be divisive.
well,
I thought
that's
it was
fine.
great.
This is a
I mean,
tablecloth
how-
yank.
yeah.
This is a
Yeah.
full on like.
Yeah,
This
it's like
is
this.
hey, hope we get a second season.
Well,
That's
they're already
exactly-
working on it.
Yeah, but that's
Yeah.
exactly where my thought was. Is I was like, well, fuck, I know the way Netflix is, so
I mean, yeah, they're definitely getting a second season. But I have a friend who's just like, I just like for stories to be over when they're over. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
okay,
I mean, I get that.
get that. And he told me that before I actually saw it myself. But then when I actually saw the ending myself, I was just like, that's kind of perfect. You
Yeah.
know, this is one of those dissonant endings where it's like nobody wins.
Yeah.
It's not, there's not a winner at the end of the day. At the end of the day, there's only suffering.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
and it's
and
only
the-
continued suffering. You know, it's like
Yeah.
all these people
Well, it's the
aren't even
emotion-
aware of one another, you know,
Yeah.
and like, you know, all the things going on with Powder. Jason and his crew, they don't give a fuck about.
No,
you know, it's just
no.
like she's a terrorist. Who cares?
Well, I mean,
You
the main A plot of the show is the emotional tug of war between Vi and Powder. You know, so when you
That's part
had
of it,
that, so when you had that, like the real climax of everything is Powder sitting in that Jinx chair.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that's when it was over.
Right,
Like the
'cause- yeah.
story's done.
Yeah.
You know, the
It's kind of like
the
kinda
good guys
Saw
lost.
at the end of,
Yeah.
at the end of
You
Saw
know?
when he's like game over.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude.
You know,
Yeah.
it's that
Ah.
moment, and so I think you're absolutely correct, and I think that's why with her taking the rocket launcher and
Yeah.
just being like going for broke, like it doesn't matter anymore at
Yeah,
this point.
because it doesn't to
yeah,
her. To
right.
her, she has lost everybody. Vi might as well have been dead.
Right,
You know, because Powder is dead. At
Powder's
this
dead.
point.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
there's no coming back.
Because she talks to her about that. Is just like, I'd love for us to go back to the way that it was, but there's no way for us to do that as we are now.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, like without tremendous suffering, everybody
Yeah.
has to die. And then, I mean, honestly, even if if Vi did kill Kate, I mean, that wouldn't have changed anything.
I did love
like,
it. I made her a snack.
Uh-huh.
Like you're thinking she's gonna pull it up, and it's just like it's gonna be Kate's head, and
yeah.
it's not. It's just a cupcake, and it's like, "Pff, come on, I'm
Come
not that
on.
crazy.
Yeah, dude. Like, what do you think I am? I'm not a monster, you know? But, you know, this does, you know, for a lot of people, they want to see in season 2 the conclusion of this story. I think that for the next season, they could pick completely different
could go to
characters
and I
and
think that
tell
would
a
be-
completely different
yeah.
story in a completely different
That'd be
place.
the way that would be a good way to move forward.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Don't
like I think we're done with Vi and Jinx.
Yeah.
You know, like
their story's
because-
pretty much told at this point.
Right,
You know,
you
you
know?
want to see more of their story, go play the game
exactly.
You know?
Right. And so
or look up lore
Right.
on the internet. You know.
yeah, and who knows? They might do some animated shorts or things like that
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
future because this
Well, I
animation
wonder
team
if
is very.
Any of these games that are coming out are going to tie into this story.
I don't know, or if
don't
it'll be
either.
a standalone thing,
Right.
You know, but what this does go to show is that Riot is on it.
Yeah.
They're fucking on it,
Mhm.
and whatever they choose to do with this IP, we're going to be in for treats.
Yeah.
in multiple directions, you know, and you know, Pixar, watch yourself, man. Watch yourself. There's some new kids on the block.
Oh, yeah.
And they're doing some creative stuff,
Yeah,
you
man.
know, because those fights, all of those fights are very creative.
All
like the
of
whole
it.
scene. You remember
Yes.
when I guess Jinx at this point was trying to beat Vi's high score.
Oh,
on
yeah.
that
Oh,
boxing game,
totally.
and she
Yeah.
could just never beat her, man.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
She would just
she's
get right
always
there.
just gonna be in second.
Always gonna be second.
I'm always
Yeah,
gonna
because
be
she came
second.
back and she put it
Uh-huh.
all
And then
back
she just-
together. and-
Yeah.
Yeah, and after she realized that she couldn't get the top spot, what'd she do? She just fucking shot it.
Shot it.
She's
Yep.
like, fuck it then.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
You know, and that's kind of her, like, she's constantly trying to fight the world, but the world keeps beating her down.
Yeah.
So fuck it. I'm just gonna shoot everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
Just destroy all my problems.
I'm just
How
gonna
about that?
destroy my problems.
But you can't.
Yeah.
But you can't.
So
without creating more.
Yeah, man.
good show.
Great
Go
show.
watch it.
Yeah.
Great show.
Totally.
Yeah.
I think a lot of our viewers probably went to go watch it.
I hope
Or they're
so.
like, God damn it, all these spoilers. And so, because there are a lot of people who know of Arcane who put it on the back burner, and it's very easy to keep it there.
Yeah.
It is.
You know,
It is.
and especially with the League of Legends name attached to it,
Right.
it's really easy to just be like, okay, well, you know, like,
Yeah.
maybe it's
not
not
so-
for me,
yeah,
or maybe I
exactly.
should invest some time into League of Legends, and I'll go back and watch it.
No,
And it's
you don't
like,
have to.
No, man.
You don't have
It's
to.
like, just
and I don't
watch the thing.
really feel the draw to go invest any time in League
I'm
of
not
Legends.
gonna play
the
League because
game,
of this.
You know, but
I do want to
I
know
do
how much
wanna-
it ties in.
I want
do-
to know more about the characters.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
absolutely. But that's what wikis are for, right?
Yeah, or Robbie.
Yeah, or Robbie.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
But yeah, good
You'll
show.
get
Watch it.
Caught up in combos. You'll be like, no, man, them combos. I'm like, wait, no, but the story,
What
bro.
about that story?
Combos.
Final thoughts?
Yeah, I got one that we didn't talk about.
There's so much.
The records and
Oh.
Oh yeah, the record.
right, and then some of the art that's on the walls.
Mhm.
It's that like Art Nouveau look, and it's just it's
it's
outstanding.
Dude, the show's
Oh
a
my God.
masterpiece. It's
Yeah.
an absolute masterpiece, and that's why I can say with confidence, like, as far as an animated series goes, like,
Yeah,
it's a 10 out of 10 for me. You know what I'm
It's
saying?
really
like,
good.
Absolutely.
like,
Really good.
I can't even, I can't think of any real detriment to any of it. Any moment.
yeah. It's not too long. They don't dwell on one part of it too long. They skip around
No,
a bunch
every
where you feel like you're
every
yeah.
episode moves.
right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, each episode, while they might be 40 minutes, may feel more like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Because so much happens per
Yeah.
episode
Yeah.
that by the time you get to the end of it, you're just like, what the fuck is this, man?
Mhm.
You know? Like, and I'm
It's got
telling you.
wonderful pacing though.
Oh, yes.
And
Absolutely.
the characters are great.
Yeah.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Well voiced.
Absolutely.
The eyes, man.
Yeah,
Like-
seriously, the eyes.
Oh man,
Yeah.
you know, like
Mhm.
even like Echo, man. Just looking at like his sheer disappointment, you know,
Dude, yeah.
because he's a hopeful dude. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? He's a really hopeful guy. You know, the broken Violet, like when you first meet Violet versus the time skip Violet, you know, like she's hard as nails.
Oh
like,
yeah.
like impenetrable until she sees
Absolutely.
her sister. Like,
Absolutely.
there's nothing that you can do. And if it's time for Vi to fight, there's nothing that you can do.
Not at all.
You lose.
Yeah.
You know, like prepare for it. And she takes her licks. Oh my God, it's so visceral.
Great, man.
It's so visceral.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
It's a recommend.
Recommend.
It's a big ol'
Hard
recommend.
recommend.
well, thank you guys. I think we've been going for long enough now.
I totally agree with that.
I
But-
mean, really, this is gush.
It's just
Yeah.
gush. But thank you guys so much for hanging out, being in the chat. Thank you for the likes and the follows. And
And if you haven't
know
followed
anybody,
already, please follow.
yeah, please follow. Please like, share, and subscribe. Comment. You can find us on YouTube, Spotify, Anchor, Google Play, or Google Podcasts, and iTunes, and anywhere else you like to listen to your podcasts. Check us out. I'm going to be putting up shorter, more condensed, more edited videos on the YouTube here soon. So,
the YouTubes.
you know, so if you don't want to spend 3 hours with us, if you only maybe want to spend an hour with us, there's an option. So look out for that. We will be doing the Drunken Monks late cast
Yeah.
later today. I'll probably be throwing hands in some KOF potentially.
We can
But
play
so
Sonic Team
come
Racing.
back to this channel. There you go. For
Gotta
that
be done
later tonight. Yeah.
Yeah,
See
thanks,
you next
guys.
week.
Wait, what you got?
Pending, we might have a special guest next week.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
still confirming, but might have a special guest next
We
week.
shall see.
Join us. Bye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Bye. Love you.